Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. Tennessee lost a tough one last night in the Music City Bowl against Illinois, 30-28. Deshaun Bishop had 2 touchdowns on the night, and the Vols had a kick return touchdown from Jakeem Dotson, but it was not enough. Also, Vanderbilt just went final, losing 34-27 to Iowa in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Diego Pavia finished his college career with 3 total touchdowns in that game. The college football playoff quarterfinal kicks off tonight at 6:30 as Miami and Ohio State face off in the Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow's games are as follows: Oregon and Texas Tech at 11 in the Orange Bowl, Alabama, Indiana at 3:30 in the Rose Bowl, and Ole Miss facing Georgia at 7 in the Sugar Bowl. Lastly, in a few pieces of NFL news, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson was back on the practice field today after suffering a back contusion in Week 16. His status is still up in the air, but is looking good to go as of right now. Steelers tight end Darnell Washington was placed on season-ending IR with a broken arm, and head coach Mike Tomlin is reportedly feeling optimistic that T.J. Watt can return for Sunday night's game. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5. The Zone.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year. Welcome into 3HL 104.5 The Zone. I am not Brent Doherty. I'm Lucas Panzica. Happy to be here. Happy to ring in 2026. This is my maiden voyage.
Yes.
On 3HL with Ron Slay.
Absolutely, man. What the people don't know, dog, Pan been in the side of me and Pan started this journey together, man. That's what the people don't know. During COVID, on Zoom, trying to get it done, we didn't have a problem, man. We hit it off, and Pan, it's good to have you in here on the new year, man. We're closing out the year the right way, man.
It's good to be here, man. Again, Ron Slay in studio.
I'm in the building. There you go, Johnston.
I get it right on time every time.
Hey, man, first off, Pan is out here pulling this is equivalent to an all-nighter for you guys and gals at home. This is an all-nighter what Pan is doing. He already knocked out the morning show. He even talked to Bert today. And talking about Bert, reason I say that with Pan pulling the all-nighter, I've been waiting on this because Monday during your guys' show, I was in the chat letting people know that Bert ain't really who everybody think he is, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think he's a stand-up guy, but when you turn your back, Bert is the one in class making all the faces, doing the little spitballs through the straw, hitting you in the back of the neck, throwing something at the teacher, then putting his hand down and pointing at you. Like, I figured this out with Bert, and I never thought to this day that it would be my guy Bert. So this came about, Pan. Buck was saying that the karaoke thing that we were talking about doing, we've been talking about this for about 4.5 years on 3HL. And all of a sudden, Bert said we stole his idea. I said, what? I'm riding my truck like, no, Bert is not throwing allegations, false accusations at 3HL like that. And you know what? I had to call in and try to, get the record straight. But, Pan, you were out, so that day I felt like I was all alone, so the person that came and rode with me was Buck, out of all people. And I think he just liked turmoil to be going on. That's the only reason he rode with me. So, Bert, at some point, we need to get you in court and settle this. Till then, you are on the naughty list going all the way to 2026 Christmas until you do something about it.
Maybe we sort this out at some point today.
I think we should.
Yeah.
It's the new year.
Maybe we sort this out at some, because Bert, Bert's a stand-up guy.
See, that's what they think.
Right?
That's what I've always.
Allegedly.
Thank you, Ross.
Look, this would rock my world.
I'm telling you, it's flatlined a lot of people, man, finding this out.
I got eyes in the back of my head when it comes to Buck. Everybody knows Buck's a snake in the grass.
Yes, absolutely.
But the dangerous ones are the ones that don't make themselves known. So maybe we got to sort this out today.
And listen, I want y'all to know out there, I don't want it to be Bert. I don't want Bert to be that guy. But if the little shoe fits, you know what I mean? If that little old lady shoe fit, the little kids in the old lady shoe, if they happen to go in that house and Bert goes in with them, Yeah, that's just what it is. Burt belongs to the old lady in the shoe.
All right, we got a lot to sort out. We got some film to talk about. Cam Ward, the way he's going to finish out the season. Greg Cosell, he's coming up in the next segment. Coach Mack in hour 2. Todd Furman in hour 2. Ramon Foster in hour 3. This is one of those days where we're not on tomorrow. We're not on Friday. We've got college football playoff action tonight, tomorrow, the NFL regular season finale. It's like there's too much to get done and not enough time to do it. So let's get to it. But Ross, quick, let's play my intro.
That's the Pan intro.
Lucas Panzica is on 3HL.
What the hell, man? I thought like the whole deal was that you haven't been working on that for the...
He probably did. Burt probably deleted it.
Burt might have an a cappella one in there somewhere.
Burt could do one off the rip. Maybe we'll get him in here at some point, too. Hey, what is going on with the SEC right now in bowl season, man? It just continues to get worse and worse. Vanderbilt fans, which is their prerogative to do, were basking in Tennessee's Music City Bowl loss to Illinois. Again, absolutely their right.
Yep.
They kicked the Vols' ass in the regular season finale, sat back and watched Tennessee lose to Illinois in their home city of Nashville, Tennessee, and then Vanderbilt turns around and cannot block the Iowa Hawkeyes, cannot stop the run up front, and Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes prevent Vanderbilt from an 11-win season for the first time in program history. And Slay, the SEC has one victory in bowl season that is not against another SEC team, right? Obviously, Alabama has the one win over Oklahoma. That game aside, between two SEC teams, one has been victorious so far in bowl season, and that is Ole Miss against Tulane in the college football playoff.
That is tough, dog. I would like to say it's because of the opt-outs and things of that nature, but in this particular matchup, wasn't a lot of opt-outs. You know what I'm saying? So in Tennessee's case, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. And the rest of them, man, listen, I don't know what it is, but that target's on your back, and they got something to prove out here. Not only the players that you playing against in these opponents, but the coaches. These coaches got something to say, man. How you say his name? Bielema?
Brett Bielema.
Brett Bielema, he not only beat, that's his second SEC team just beating up on
and
like
beat
that,
South
man.
Carolina in the Gator Bowl last year.
Oh, man, like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I don't think Illinois is that good, but I can't even say that.
30-28 the final yesterday at Nissan Stadium. 34-27 the final at Raymond James Stadium. Iowa over Vanderbilt. Vandy just couldn't get out of the gates offensively in the first half. 8 rushing yards. They finish being outrushed 167-51. Mark Gronowski, I don't want to say outduels Diego Pavia because Pavia came alive in this second half, man. Finished with 347, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground as well, 3 total. But Vanderbilt just couldn't get stops when they needed to, and they fall to the pesky Iowa Hawkeyes. SEC goes down again. More disappointing bowl loss, Tennessee or Vanderbilt?
Oh, I'm gonna go Vandy in this situation because you were gonna have an opportunity to do something that has never been done, and I think they hung their hat on that, coming into this game while people wasn't opting out outside of Eli Stowers. I don't know who else of acclaim as far as name goes opted out, but he was the key one. But you also had guys like Spence. You had a fully loaded clip walking in there. And I thought coming off of the situation with the Heisman Trophy, clean up your name, I thought Diego, and he did go out and ball, but I thought they would get that victory and that, that would give you the stage to, try to clean up some other things. But, man, 11 wins that's tough to come by. And you was right there at the gate of it. Tennessee, I thought walked into it, man. This was I'd say 9 wins coming into the season was your floor. Was your ceiling. So I'm all right walking in there, especially knowing the last-minute opt-outs and everything. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I thought Vandy, man, is a really good team, and I expected a different little flow on that one.
Tennessee, the whole 2025 story has been so weird, hasn't it? Because if you tell anybody in July, hey, 8 wins this year, it's like, okay, that seems about right. But then on the other hand, you say, and also Joey Aguilar will lead the SEC in passing. Yeah. Tennessee will get back to the heights offensively that they had in 2022, and they won't beat one team that finishes the year with a winning record at the FBS level. Yeah. Then that suddenly changes the story a little bit. And when Tennessee was lining up that 43-yard attempt by Max Gilbert against Georgia, imagine going back to that moment right before that kick went wide, left or right, I can't remember which it was, and saying, hey, you're going to be losing in the Music City Bowl. Right. So the way the expectations reset throughout the course of the year, At no point did Tennessee play complimentary football, and you find yourself 8-5 and kind of looking around like, okay, I don't know what just happened this year. This whole season was like a fever dream, including the Nico stuff. But this is the biggest offseason of the Heupel era, right? It's not even close.
No question. This is it. Like I came in and said, I think May or June when all of that little fiasco went, and you needed Heupel to stand on business. Just remember, once you get to late October, late November, not to move the goalposts, because Tennessee fans were up in arms and clapping and give them standing ovation. That's what it's about. Nobody's better than the power T and all that. That's cool. But just remember that once you get down the road and, moves have to be made, don't move the goalposts. So I'm not going to move the goalposts on them. I think this Tennessee team showed exactly who they was. That was who they were in that bowl game. A lot of times you look like not the most athletic team on the field. A lot of times your defense couldn't stop anybody, even with guys that are, and granted, cornerbacks out, all of that is cool, but you still could not get the stops and get off the field anytime this year on 3rd down or 4th down. So that held true in the bowl game. That's why I say with this Vandy situation, Vandy got beat in a way that I haven't seen Vandy get beat this year. Like, they lost it against Alabama by throwing the ball away. That wasn't the case. They couldn't stop nobody. And their defense was top-notch to me this year. Scheming up-wise, making plays-wise, whatever it was, they were always going to be out there and get a chance, themselves a chance. And I didn't see that at the end. So that's why they were more disappointed in me.
And, 34 points to Iowa out of all teams, that's crazy.
Team that don't even like to score 34
exactly.
points. They rather score 20 at a max. And then let's get
That's all we can handle.
Yeah, that's all we need. We can get all the recruits we want to with them 24 points.
How many times this season would you guys Ross Johnson, by the way, making the show
What's
happen.
up, Ross Johnson?
If you have an intro, I'm going to be pissed.
It would be crickets.
Okay.
It'd be crickets.
How many times do you guys think Iowa has scored 34 or more points this season?
I'll go the last 5. I'm going to say this season, I'll say 1. Maybe they played a buy-me game.
That's what I was going to say. An FCS team they probably put up 30 against.
On accident. Ran 2 kickoffs back or something.
On accident?
How about 6?
6,
How
really?
about half of their games?
Well, let you know how much I pay attention to the Big Ten.
34 against Albany, 47 against UMass, 38 against Rutgers,
Wait a minute.
37 against
These are the FCS
37
teams.
against Wisconsin, 41 against Minnesota, 40 against Nebraska, 34 against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, them little teams right there. Okay. Let me go. We need to check out what them records are, those teams.
That's a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line with the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Fighting Albany, whatever they are. Skyscrapers or something.
Man, that's an interesting little stat you pulled right there. I wouldn't have, okay.
How many times y'all think Vandy has allowed 34 or more points this season?
Oh, I'd say twice.
Twice. Not including today, twice.
Yeah.
That's the number?
Auburn and Utah State.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I wouldn't have picked Utah State, but yeah.
So there you go.
I scored them fools.
615-737-1045 is how you jump in. Of course, always on 1045 The Zone TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Hit like and subscribe.
Twitch,
when you get there, we are finishing the
fast.
season strong. My fault. No, I mean, take a beat. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch.
Which, please?
There it is.
Bibbity Boppity, one of my favorites, on the F&M Bank chat says, Tennessee the more disappointing season, Vanderbilt the more disappointing bowl performance.
Is that Ecky's YouTube channel?
Maybe.
Bibbity Boppity.
Bippity boppity boop.
That's good right there. That's you know what? Disappointing season, yes, because you were in games that you could have won the way you lost them. I give them that. Being in the Alabama game, the way you lost that one, the Georgia game, of course, even the Oklahoma game. Yeah, I can give you that. But at the same time, I don't want to say that because if you would have told me before the game started or before the season started, they may lose them games. It's a good possibility. If you told me McCoy was going to be out, what's my guy, Ricky Gibson. Ricky Gibson was going to be out.
Yeah, Colton Hood opted out of the bowl game.
You know what I'm saying? If you told me all this was going to take place, Aaron Carter was going to be up and down because of injuries being banged up, the front line wasn't going to play you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the game, especially coming into it. Like, let's keep in mind, Mateer was supposed to be a Heisman candidate walking into this game. He got injured, had to sit out some weeks. He was coming to get his mojo back. Our defense helped him get his mojo back. R. Mason Thomas changed the whole game. Then you go down to Alabama, you got cute on the goal line going into halftime when you could have swung momentum. So, yeah, if that's the case, you know what? I ain't going to say disappointing season. Disappointing in coaching. I'd stand on that more so than the disappointing season. I'm disappointing in the coaching because you put yourself in those spaces to be able to come out with victorious or even stay closer, and you wasn't able to get the guys to execute. So I'll lean on that more so than disappointing season because, I mean, you got 8 wins, and if I said 9's the ceiling,
yeah,
I'm all right. Because I'm not moving the goalposts either. That's the other part. Now, I can't be a deranged fan and go crazy, and say, hey, man, they got to be better. We should have been in college football playoff. Man, we would have got blasted in the college football playoff. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is what it is. So, now, Vanderbilt, on the other hand of it, man, I thought they rocked and rolled. I thought coming in, I thought they were one of – we said coming into this bowl season, leading up to the Heisman Trophy and all of that, Vanderbilt ain't one of them teams nobody want to play. Well, I think Iowa was. Iowa wanted to play them. So, I mean, that's why I would say, I'll give a little grace to that, man. I say can't say disappointing bowl game the way they finished.
Michigan and Texas currently in action midway through the second quarter in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. They're tied up at 17. Duke 28, Arizona State 24 at halftime of the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. You've got Nebraska 14, Utah 7 in the Las Vegas Bowl going on in the second quarter. And we've got Greg Cosell breaking down Cam Ward in the backstretch of the season as he heads into his final game of his rookie year. Coming up next on 3HL.
What's happening, good people? Big Slay coming to you with Joint Chiropractic. Now, you got to listen up. Your back's out there hurting, neck's a little stiff, your hips feeling a little tight. Probably need to do some stretches, but if you don't even got time to do that, you need to get over to the Joint Chiropractic of Middle Tennessee. It's time to slay that pain, people. They got 17 locations for you to pick from. They're open all day, evenings, and weekends, so you can roll in whenever. I did that. One Saturday morning, got up, hadn't had an adjustment since 2003. And the person adjusting me knew that immediately and, got me together. So I need to go back in and see them a couple of more times just to get recalibrated. No insurance, no worries. Walk in, no appointment needed. New patients, you're getting a consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. So the headaches, back pain, neck pain, all of that can be gone. Adjustments as low as $18. That's an easy dunk. The Joint's got your back, people, literally. Go to thejoint.com to find your spot, get in, get adjusted, and get back to living.
The final day of 2025, so we got to get some film study in ahead of the regular season finale in the NFL. Welcome back, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Lucas Panzica filling in today. Brent and Dawn on assignment. Ron Slay hanging out. Ross Johnston making it happen. And Greg Cosell joins us to preview the Titans finale against the Jaguars, what we'll see from Cam Ward in his last game as a rookie in a huge weekend for the NFL playoff picture. Greg, how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Good to be with you.
No doubt, Cosell, man. I was told to tell you hello, and anytime you want to join him, just let him know. Dari Noka. I was with him last night, and he said, man, make sure you tell Greg I said hello, man.
Dari's the best, man. He's great. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen him or you guys, I guess, since I was down there for the tournament a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Well, I saw you obviously for the install, but I haven't seen Dari since the tournament.
Yeah, see, you're widely missed, Cosell. You gotta get down there. Gotta get on back down here, man.
I'm thinking about this year, Slay. You know, I gotta figure that stuff out because it's right after the combine, and
right.
Got to make sure it passes mustard on the home front. You know how that goes.
I can dig that. No, most definitely. So, Cosell, we diving into this Titans matchup, man, with the Saints. What was it with Cam that we've been seeing over the past weeks that we didn't see in this game as far as to have him successful, or was he successful in the football film eye?
Well, I think he was a little uneven in this game.
Okay.
I think he made some special plays, and I think he also made some really good plays in structure. Yeah. But I thought he missed some opportunities in this game. And again, I'm not in his head, so and also I don't know exactly how they teach the reads. Mm-hmm. But I thought there were some throws to be made that either he did not process or he just did not turn loose. But he also made, some really good plays. I mean, you see the special talent. Yeah. You see him with the ability to make those outside of structure improvisational plays. You also see him make some really clean plays from the pocket, like the Jefferson 27-yarder on their fourth possession. Yeah. So, overall, I think given what he's been through this year, okay, don't forget, the O-line has not performed to the level that was expected in terms of one-on-one pass protection. Given that he's been playing with rookie wide receivers and a rookie tight end, I think for the most part, he's handled himself well. As I mentioned to Buck earlier, I'm not going to sit here and say, guys, that he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. No one knows what the future holds. We're all, I'm sure, very anxious and curious to see what they're going to do from a coaching perspective. But I feel pretty comfortable with Cam Ward going forward as your quarterback. I think he's going to be a good player. On the spectrum of good, versus whatever, we'll find that out. But I think he's your quarterback, and I don't have a problem saying that.
Cosell, let me go back a little bit before Cam arrives here. I know you've watched him as far as film goes. Am I pushing too much to say I'm shocked that he didn't use his legs more as a runner, more so than just to keep the play alive? Could you speak to that before him getting to the league? Was he ever like that?
He's athletic, not explosive, and there's a difference. As you know, Slay, from just playing your sport, there's guys that are athletic, but you wouldn't call them explosive, but they're good athletes. And I think he falls into that category. My sense is that the coaching staff would probably like him to use his legs more when he drops back and sees space. I don't know how much they want to use him in a design quarterback run game. That becomes very situational. He's certainly not Lamar or Josh Allen or one of those guys, so you're not necessarily going to have him start running quarterback counter or quarterback power in the middle of the field on 3rd and 6. But situationally, you can use it and do it. But having said what I said, I think there's also some things that need to be cleaned up in his game from a mechanical and fundamental standpoint, and that's why I think this coaching hire is going to be absolutely critical. Because, there's really 2 parts to playing quarterback. There's more, but if you're doing broad strokes, there's the fundamentals of the position, and then there's, of course, learning your offense and then understanding coverage, and all those things that go with that. It's multi-layered. But I think there are some things from a fundamental mechanical perspective that really need to be tightened up, and I think you have to start there. Whoever the new coach is, the new coaching staff, you've got to start there.
Well, Greg, Tony Pollard went over 1,000 yards. What was this, fourth time in his career?
Fourth consecutive.
Fourth consecutive time. What was it that made him successful? Were the holes opening? Was this him just running behind his pass or what?
Combination. Okay. I mean, obviously the O-line definitely played better overall over the last month. I think, everybody saw that. And so he was able to get past the first level of the defense more consistently. And, he's not a big guy, but I'd say he runs hard. Yeah. So he does get tough yards. But, when all's said and done, I wonder how they see him going. I don't know what his contract status is. Lucas, do you know the answer to that?
Tony Pollard has a year left on his deal, I believe, at 29 years old.
Okay, so I mean, look. I don't get into this stuff. I don't talk about guys. Oh, they should be cut. They should not. I don't do that. Yeah. I have too much respect for the people in the business. Right. It'll be interesting to see what a new coaching staff thinks of him going forward. And then how they see that with free agency in the draft. But to me, Pollard's a good player. I don't know if he's a true foundation back in the sense that you start your offense with him. Can you do that in a given week? Yes, but I don't know if you can do that as a foundational philosophy.
28 years old. He'll be 29 next season, but does have 1 year left on his deal. They do have an out where they would eat $2 million of dead cap. We'll see as he's picked up some steam. Greg, it's also just come from a dedication to the run game, right, that we weren't quite seeing. Yeah. How much has that aided Cam here as his sheer number of dropbacks has plummeted, it's felt like, in the last month?
Well, Lucas, you know how it goes, and you can say what you want, but when the run game doesn't work, coaches become patient. When you run the ball and you keep gaining 1 yard and 2 yards, and you have a rookie quarterback behind you're thinking, okay, it's now 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. I'm not going to keep handing the ball off because I'm going to get stuck in a lot of 3rd and longs, which, by the way, as you guys know, they had the most 3rd and longs in the league through the first whatever number of games, a meaningful number of games. So it just, you start thinking, well, I'm not going to hand it off. I got to throw it because I'm not real excited about calling plays on 3rd and 9, every time it's 3rd down.
Greg Cosell of NFL Films with us on 104.5 The Zone. Greg, what to you is the biggest difference in the Cam Ward we've seen since the start of December, these last 4 games, and let's say the Cam Ward that you watched through his first 4 games of his rookie year?
Well, I think there's a tendency with Cam to do a couple of things that, you want to work through. Number one, he has a tendency, because that's probably just in his DNA, to chase plays, to chase big plays. And I think in this league, and I've heard Tom Brady talk about this all the time, and he's so right. If the defense is giving you a 5-yard pass on 1st and 10, you take the 5-yard pass and you make it 2nd and 5. And if they're going to do that whole game, you know what? You take the 5-yard pass every single time. He had a tendency to chase plays. The other thing that I think he has to work on is, and these are just a couple of things. We're not going to do a whole deal right now. There'd be too much. But he also has a tendency at times when he feels pressure to start to retreat a little bit backwards and to his right, and he takes himself out of plays. And I think that he has to work on better pocket manipulation, and that's something you can work on.
These last 7 games, the Jags have not lost, Greg. Trevor Lawrence has kind of hit his stride here in this stretch of the season. They're, on paper, in terms of active win streak, the hottest team in the NFL. Is this the best version of Trevor Lawrence that you have seen to this point in his NFL career?
Yes, it's for sure. And I think that's where coaching comes in, which I'm a huge believer in. Liam Cohen has that Rams background. He does a great job of defining the reads for him. I mean, it's, primary reads. It's, a lot of pure progression where he's dropping back. He's sequencing 1, 2, 3. And when one's open, it looks so pretty. And that's happening more and more. But the other thing I'll say, Lucas, and it's overlooked because Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence, but their defense is really good. And their first-year D coordinator, Anthony Campanelli, I love watching their defensive tape. They are really, really good. They're so fundamentally sound. You watch how their linebackers see things and react, recognize, play with great awareness. I really like what they do on the defensive side of the ball, and that doesn't get talked about because of Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, Cosell, we got a question in the chat from Stoney Keeley. Concept of blitzing rookie quarterbacks actually simplifies their reads for them. Is the way to slow down Cam Ward to drop bodies into space and make him read coverages instead of heating him up with the blitz. Jacksonville did that in round one. Curious if they'll do that again.
Yeah, there'd be different schools of thought on that. There's coaches who believe in heating up a young quarterback because now you start getting into who's setting the protection. Is the protection going to pick up all potential rushers? Is there going to be someone who's a free hitter, which is never comfortable for a quarterback? And then there's other people who believe that, if you drop 7 or 8 in coverage and you close down all his own windows, theoretically, that, now you make him have to read through all that and it'll take him longer to process and then the rush will eventually get there. So there's two schools of thought and there's no right way or wrong way. So it just depends on a defensive coach's philosophy, his personnel, how he feels he can break down protections. Because normally what breaking down protection is how an offense sets a protection based on a look. So then that, hey, if I bring someone outside of how they set their protection, they don't have a blocker for that person. So he's a free hitter. And no quarterback likes a free hitter.
Right. Now, Cosell, with Jacksonville, them going to town in Jacksonville, with Brian Thomas and Parker Washington, did you expect a guy like Parker Washington to emerge like this? Did you know his game was like this?
No. I mean, he's a certain kind of player, but I think because of Liam Cohen and how well schemed that offense is, he can emerge. It's funny how there are a lot of guys who are good receivers, no knock on the player. I mean, we're not talking about the Jeffersons, the Chases here, but even when you look at a team, like the 49ers with Joanne Jennings, there are certain guys in a really well-schemed pass game that emerge as really important players to that team. No matter what kind of numbers Parker Washington puts up, no one's going to say, man, he's a top 5 receiver in the league. He's just a guy that is a solid player within a really well-schemed offense with a quarterback now who's playing with incredible confidence and will turn the ball loose.
Greg Cosell with us on 104.5 The Zone. Just quickly, Greg, kind of scanning some of the playoff implications for the weekend. We get something that we don't get that often, right? We get 3 kind of make or break games, whether it's at the top of divisional races or for the 1 seed in the NFC with the Niners and the Seahawks, who faced off week 1, 17-13. The Niners win. Obviously, both of those teams have evolved since that point. San Francisco's been banged up throughout the course of the year, yet here they are controlling their destiny to be the top seed in the NFC. How fascinated are you with this Kyle Shanahan matchup against this Seahawks defense that has played at an elite level at points this year?
I know. This is a great matchup. I mean, when I watched the 49ers-Bears game this week, both sides, that was a really fun watch. 2 really good offensive coaches, a little different style, how they go about it, but it was a fun watch. But that Seahawks defense, Lucas, they are in the forefront of what's become a big trend in the league, which, by the way, the Titans were part of until Kevin Winston got hurt, of playing what we call big nickel, where you play with 3 safeties as opposed to 3 linebackers. And literally Nick Emenwari, the rookie from South Carolina, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with, being, in the SEC, he's been a major player in what the Seahawks do. He rarely comes off the field, and they're really good up front, DeMarcus Lawrence seems like he has a new lease on life. Leonard Williams, a dominant player. Byron Murphy in his 2nd year. I mean, I think Jeffrey Simmons has been the best D tackle in the NFL this year. Byron Murphy is not far behind. So it's a lot of people obviously in Nashville are probably not that familiar with Seahawks players, but they have really good players on that defense.
Cosell, last one for you. Getting out of here, man, and go enjoy your new year and get away from us. This Tampa Bay situation with Baker Mayfield, what is it? What is it? We went from MVP talk to now we're at the end of the season and just hoping they can hang on.
Yeah. I can't get into a guy's head. And I always struggle with the people who act like they know exactly what's going on because, you just don't. But just watching the tape, I just feel like for whatever reason, Slay, and I don't know the answer to this, he's just not seeing things the right way. Yeah. And he's playing very tentatively. And, early in the season, he was very assertive and decisive. So I can't answer. I don't know the why, but even Todd Bowles, kind of came out this week and said we need better play from our quarterback,
Yep.
which you rarely hear a coach say.
Yep.
So, I mean, that tells you. Now, Todd Bowles is a very straightforward guy. So my guess is he's had the same conversation with Baker. I don't think he said that, without talking to Baker about it. But, it's been a struggle. He just has not looked like a comfortable player. And that's surprising given his experience level.
Well,
Greg, how you ringing in the new year tonight?
Lucas, I don't think I've seen a new year in 15 years.
Respect.
The crazy thing about Christmas and New Year's, is they happen during the football season.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, you're watching college football playoff action tonight. Is there, we did not prep you for this question at all, but is there a player that you're most intrigued to watch with the playoff action today and tomorrow?
Well, I'm curious about tonight because Matt Patricia is a friend of mine, and he obviously has brought a lot of NFL principles to that defense at Ohio State, and that defense obviously has a number of guys who are going to be high NFL draft picks, including the two linebackers, Styles and Reese, and among others. So I'm very curious to see what he does, and I'm also curious to see Reuben Bain, the Miami defensive end.
Potential future Titan Reuben Bain, something we'll be talking about a lot over the next few months. Greg, appreciate the time as always. Great talking to you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Greg.
All right, Happy New Year to you guys. All right, Slay, we'll see you, man. Tell Dory I say hi.
I definitely will.
Greg Cosell, at Greg Cosell on Twitter.
Cosell was working today, boy.
Always is.
Took them all over.
Always is. Let's talk about some of those matchups. Ringing in the new year tonight with Miami and Ohio State, and the action picks up again tomorrow. 3HL continues on 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? MedicalHouseCalls.com is where you need to head to, especially during this time of the year. The kids are at home. You're out around people. You're doing shopping. You may be out tonight. If you are, be safe. But if you're feeling a little down the next day, well, you need to hit MedicalHouseCalls.com up, man. It's healthcare designed for your life. It's 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., 615-838-2375, man. I was feeling down under the weather, man. My guys, shout out to him, Chuck McDowell. Oh, man, they let me know, hey, you need to get on this, dog. They'll get you back. I was like, okay, well, let me try it. They came the next day. I had a flight to catch that night, and I needed to be top-notch the day after. Yes, the mobile IV therapy came through. They hooked me up. It is... anytime you need to get that recovery, whether it's vitamins, minerals, nutrients, it's going straight to the bloodstream. You get maximum absorption, giving you rapid results and immediate, make sure you underline that, immediate symptom relief, people. So it's right there for you. Primary health care, urgent care, IV therapy, all up under one roof. And they do call in prescriptions, even if you're out of town. Just hit them up, 615-838-2375, medicalhousecalls.com.
All right, this is acceptable until when?
That's all. I was just about to say, because I looked at Ross and I'm feeling like he's proud about the song selection.
Yeah, this is like a thing that Ross does at various points throughout the year.
It's chilly outside.
But we were talking about this earlier today, me, Buck, and Bert.
Yeah.
It is kind of universally accepted to have your Christmas tree up through New Year's Day, right?
I'll stays up to like damn near February.
Okay, fair enough. But generally, I think most people would be like, nah, to take it down.
Yeah.
But generally, through the new year, it's cool. Like everybody's still in the holiday vibe.
Yep.
Nobody wants to move on from it too quickly. But is it acceptable to keep bumping Christmas music through New Year's?
No.
That's a hard cutoff for you?
It stops tonight.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah,
Okay.
tonight it's over with.
So it's still, as long as it's December, it's still fair game.
I don't need to hear Silent Night going into New Year's. Like that ain't what I'm trying to do.
Well, I doubt you will, honestly.
No, I mean, you never know whose house you're at, Ross.
What if you're on Broadway?
You go when the little benders you go on, brother. Ain't no telling what
Well, we've been prepping for tonight for a while.
It's gonna be interesting though, but I ain't got no. I'm not playing no Christmas music. All that's done. I'll probably cut it off about the 28th.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay.
On it, yeah. I'm like right now. This is boy. You getting in. This week is all about party mode. Actually, you know what I mean. Setting up where you gonna go, what dinner you gonna go eat. Are you gonna be in the house? You know what I mean? And everybody be safe, man. Shoot. I told y'all last year, man, hey, no breaking in cars tonight, y'all. No breaking in cars.
Robert.
Yeah, man, all the little thieves and people out there, man, listen. I don't want nothing bad to happen to y'all. So let's take a night off. Take a night off, man. People are coming down here as tourists, you know what I mean? If they got rental cars or if they drove down here, they parking thinking that I'm going to come back to my car and it's going to be in one piece, and y'all ruining it for them. Let's not do that in the new year. Now, on January 1st, tourists, y'all got to get out of here. I'm just telling you, I ain't got control like that. So I'm just asking the people out there, man, all the little thieves, y'all stay away tonight.
They already paid for the new stadium. Now y'all can go.
On.
That's the one. This new 911 Nashville show.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I heard it was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I've heard it's absurd. But my hope for it is that it slows down the amount of folks because they'd be watching that show. Like, what the hell's going on in Nashville, man? They got like little girls getting swept up by balloons and cars hanging off the bridge. Like I'm staying away from Nashville.
I need to stage a fake car break and to get on that show and just keep the propaganda rolling.
Oh, you ain't got to stage nothing. All they got to do is they can put on a regular film, and it's going to happen. They're wearing one of these corners. It's a guarantee.
What do you think Chunky Junkie's doing?
Chunky Junkie should be up under her cot, probably freezing. I hope they don't give Chunky Junkie a blanket. Yeah, I got a big heart, man, but no, Chunky Junkie,
She messed around and found out?
Yeah, man, come on, man.
615-737-1045. Titans injury report is out. We do have a playoff matchup to talk about tonight, but real quick, Jalen Armour-Davis, Achilles injury. They didn't put him on IR, but Mike McCoy all but confirmed last week. He's done for the year.
Last game as a Titan.
Most likely. Yeah, picked him up from waivers from the Ravens. Hasn't necessarily been
I'm saying it has to be.
stellar.
Please.
Cody Barton did not practice today for, it says, personal reasons, not injury related. Ollie Gay, full participant with a knee injury. We will see if he is activated off of injured reserve for the regular season finale. Gunnar Helm did not practice with a toe. Amani Hooker did not practice with an ankle/toe. Van Jefferson, not on IR, but Mike McCoy told us, season over with the forearm. Arden Key did not practice with a hip injury. Left the Saints game last week. Femi Oladejo, full participant. Still haven't activated him off IR. Bryce Oliver, full participant. Same goes for him. Jeffrey Simmons, rest day. Jahad Ward, limited with an ankle. Kevin Zeitler did not practice with a hip.
With an ankle.
First injury report of the week for the Titans, who defensively, Slay, really limp into this game in Jacksonville against a Jags offense that is kind of peaking. And you heard Greg Cosell, best version of Trevor Lawrence we've seen in his career.
Yeah, this ain't the team you want to be limping into, the game that you want to, eventually try to stop them. I think, man, the Trevor Lawrence has been on fire. This is, how long, what is this, year 5? What is this for Trevor Lawrence? I think maybe
5.
5?
Yep.
Yeah, like I guess sometimes, with the coaching changes and things of that nature, he finally settled in, and this is who they thought they were getting when he first came out. You got weapons there, like he was talking about with Parker Washington. I'm like, wow, where did this guy come from? You know what I'm saying? With Brian Thomas Jr. going down, and Strange went down during the season, but he's got all his weapons back. So, man, Titans being down, especially in the secondary, good luck. I mean, that's, like anything can happen, especially in a rivalry game. But I also think in the past you were able to depend on a guy like Derrick Henry to have one of those efforts he had. Who were they just playing when he went crazy?
Packers.
Against the Packers. Like, you could depend on that against a Jacksonville or Baltimore or Buffalo, and he's not here. So I don't know what we get walking into this matchup, man. Hopefully it's nothing to dampen, because I think at the end of this season, the hope was gone, but you gave a little bit of hope. Like, man, if we can get the right pieces and continue to grow, right coach, everything could be okay. You can see it turning around. I don't want that to put a damper on us walking into the offseason. I don't want that.
Bowl season in full swing in action right now. Utah leads Nebraska 17-14 in the Las Vegas Bowl late second quarter. Michigan and Texas tied at 17 at the half. Arch Manning 14 of 23 for 147 and a touchdown. Duke leads Arizona State in the Sun Bowl 28-24 third quarter. Gary Danielson's swan song for CBS. Charles Davis will be in that seat the next time we get a college football game on CBS.
Hey, CD, baby.
There you go. Miami, Ohio State tonight, 6:30 kickoff. Ohio State, 7.5-point favorites. It has come down a little bit. This spread was hovering around 10, 9.5.
Yeah.
It was 9.5 last I checked this morning. It's come down 2 points, just over a touchdown, what is still the largest spread of the college football playoff action this week. I guess the question that revolves around Ohio State in this thing, as we haven't seen them, they lost the Big Ten championship, still a top 4 seed, didn't play in the first round, Slay, is will the loss to Indiana in the Big Ten championship game kind of serve as the springboard that the loss to Michigan did last year in the regular season finale? Does this team, we know it's as talented, but does this team have that kind of run in them as they go up against a Miami team that is hard to get a read on?
Yeah.
Right here, after going into A&M, winning dominant defensive performance, but the Carson Beck of it all kind of feels like the wild card in this situation.
That's absolutely the wild card. And I think also with that, you got a nation out there, I think everybody outside of probably Miami cheering against Carson Beck, waiting on him to do a blunder because of the way, the perception of the way he carries himself, it's already out there. I don't know how much shaping up he can do before the draft of it, but I'm not an Ohio State fan, but I wouldn't mind seeing Ohio State really get after Carson Beck just cause. I just don't like the way he walks.
What you got against Carson
I just don't like the way he walks. I don't like the way his little neck and everything look.
Hey, Slay,
a lot of stuff I don't like.
I think there's going to be a lot of Georgia fans cheering for Carson Beck because I think
so?
they might want to see him next round. And, give it to him.
I'm not sure if they make it that far though, man. I think, man, Ohio State. I'm also a first-year quarterback. How much do you depend on him to be able to come through for you if that Miami pass rush can get to you? If they can get to sand, like, that can change the game a lot. But it did come down to 8. I mean, it went back up to 8.5, too, on FanDuel. So I don't know what we're getting. But I'm rolling with I'm going to take the points if we get back up to 9.5 with Miami, though.
I don't know that Julian Sayan's seen a pass rush like what he's going to see tonight.
This is Jason Taylor got them boys balling. I'm going to give them love on them edges.
If I'm a Georgia fan, I know I'd rather see Miami than Ohio State in the next round.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Easily.
Absolutely.
The talent Ohio State has on that football team,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And they've got the experience of having done it in the first 12-team playoff. That matters.
615-737-1045. You know who were winners last night? Coach Max Hornfrog.
I saw TCU. Man, that
Walking
break,
it
man, USC, what were y'all doing? Just tackle. Push them. Don't even tackle them. Push them very hard.
Coach Mac, Dave McGinnis's last appearance on the Zone before the end of the Titans' regular season. We got Coach Mac in hour 2 coming up next.
Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. Tennessee lost a tough one last night in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, 30-28 to Illinois. Also today, Vanderbilt losing 34-27 in the ReliaQuest Bowl to the Iowa Hawkeyes. The college football playoff quarterfinal kicks off tonight at 6:30 with Miami and Ohio State facing off in the Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow's games are as follows: Oregon and Texas Tech at 11 in the Orange Bowl, Alabama and Indiana at 3:30 in the Rose Bowl, and Ole Miss facing Georgia at 7 p.m. in the Sugar Bowl. Lastly, in a few pieces of NFL news, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson was back on the practice field today after suffering a back contusion in Week 16. His status is still up in the air for Sunday night's game, but it is looking good to go as of right now. The Steelers, however, will be without tight end Darnell Washington, who was placed on season-ending IR today. But Mike Tomlin is optimistic that edge rusher T.J. Watt could return for Sunday night's game, as he has been dealing with a punctured lung. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour 2 off and running 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Lucas Panzica, glad to be here alongside Ron Slay.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. It's time.
Ross Johnston making the show happen.
Johnston.
I guess the car might need a roof tonight, doesn't it?
No, I mean, the roof ain't been off all year, really.
Right,
the Titans won't let me take it off.
I don't know how I feel about not hearing Return of the Mac. We're about to talk to Coach Dave McGinnis, presented by Two Rivers Ford.
I mean,
It's tough at the top of that hour, man.
Do you got it back there?
know.
It just feels wrong.
I think I'm.
All right. Well, that's all right. We'll make it right. Coach Dave McGinnis, presented by Two Rivers Ford. There it is. The South's most trusted Ford dealer joins us on 3HL. Coach Mac, congrats to your Horned Frogs and Happy New Year. How are you?
Hey, Lucas. Hey, Ron Slate. Yeah, frog. I mean, all you got to do is spend money to win games.
That's what it seems to be in all sports, Coach Mac.
It's not seems to be. It is. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
And plus, the Frogs made a nice showing, especially with their starting quarterback opting out of that bowl game. That was quite the finish. I'm sure that next spring that USC will be working on tackling practice in the open field.
A walk-off win for TCU in overtime for those who didn't see it late last night in the Alamo Bowl. How about former Vandy quarterback Ken Seals finishing the job? And the emotion at the end of it, you watch these bowl games and they've lost some of their juice, but that kind of stuff just brings you right back, Coach Mac. Watching Ken Seals and the emotions of walking it off against USC in a big moment for him, his last game as a college football player.
Yeah, of course, how close I am to that program. Those people were fired up about it. Of course, San Antonio's not very far from Fort Worth, so they were in pretty good numbers down there at the Alamo Bowl. But that was a big win. That was a nice end, a really nice end to the season. That was kind of up and down for the Frogs, but they were still able to win some pretty significant games. I was happy with it.
Yeah, Coach Mac, man, I don't know how USC couldn't push him hard enough to get out of bounds, but he tightrope that sideline, man. That was beautiful to get to that.
That was crazy. It really was. I mean, when they replayed it, he really tap danced that sideline for just a minute, and it was. As I said, they will be working on tackling practice in Southern California next year.
They sure will, man. Now, the Titans coming off of their game, getting ready to go into Jacksonville. Well, what bright spot taken away in this matchup, Coach Mac, is for me, the emergence that we continue to see from DK, man. Like this young man here, each week I'm sitting there saying, you know what? All right, now he's reached his ceiling, man. Like he can cool on out. But, man, the hunger to continue to get better for him, man. You think this is something that he's going to take with him, Coach Mac, or do you think this is just one of them seasons right now?
No. I mean, he's a mature guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. I mean, just, I was at practice again today like I always am. I mean, he's just a mature guy. He just works. And the thing about him is the league knows who he is now, so that's going to change a little bit of the way that they approach him. They're not kicking to him anymore to begin with.
Yep.
And then of course it depends, on this next group that comes in there. But his receiving ability and his speed I mean, that's as long as he stays healthy, that's always going to be there. But I mean, just the fact that, and really this entire freshman class or rookie class, whatever you want to call it, first year players that have gotten a lot of this extended play time, you can tell, that their development is coming along. That's what gives me hope for this thing moving forward, Ron.
Totally agree, Coach Mack. Tony Pollard, we know him coming from Dallas, man, was behind Zeke for a while. Zeke went down, was injured a little bit, got more time. But this being a place with 4 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, man, you can kind of see him settling in with a little bit more tread on the tires, Coach Mack, to continue this into next year?
Well, he just look. He's what you call a boar hog runner. In other words, this guy is pig iron tough, and you see that he's been that ever since he's been in the league.
Yes,
he wasn't the primary back at Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he wasn't the primary back, but ever since he's been here, he's been a tremendous addition on a team that has struggled at times. But his production really has never fallen off. As far as when he's been given chances, I really like him. I like him, Ron. I just like him as a football player,
right?
And that, to me, that's important.
Last one for me, Coach Mack, man. Like, I know we do this week to week, man, and sometimes it can get redundant. We can just continue to just beat on the wall with it. But at the same time, when you're having ups and downs through the season, and you get a bright spot like this, I don't think enough light can be shined on it. Big Jeff, Coach Mack, from first whistle to last whistle. I mean, is there any other pro out there that you can see in this situation playing like this right now, outside of Myles Garrett, when you're talking about a team that's been losing?
Well, I mean, you got some of these guys that are special players. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the best defensive lineman in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that, and I don't give praise like that lightly. He is one of the best. And the other thing that impressed, because I'm around him every day, the thing that's impressed me, Ron, ever since this season has started, he realized, first of all, how young and razor thin this football team was going to be in the, personnel-wise. That's just life. But he stepped up. I mean, you've been in this role before when you were a player, you were a top dog. I mean, it takes a lot of work to bring everybody else along with you because you have to be on point every day in preparation, in practice, and then you have to be able to perform when all your opponents are zeroed in on you. That people, when Jeff Simmons is playing, they zero in on him. I've been with some great defensive linemen in my coaching career. Been very fortunate. This dude is right up there at the top with all of them.
Man, I was talking to a partner of mine, Coach Mack, and the question he asked me, whatever level you plan on, once you reach that elite level, like how do you continue to bring people with you? And the day-to-day, being able to get up, go do it, focus on the details, pray that you're healthy, but also do the things that is going to keep you healthy as well, but be able to go out there and perform under any circumstances, whether you're winning or losing, but to be the consummate pro day in and day out at that elite level, man, it's tough. And I don't want the fans or people around the country to scoff at this at one bit. Yeah, the numbers and everything is nice, but man, we got to remember this man was injured, fought back to get through injury, come back and raise his play even more, in my estimation. And I think, man, that should be commended. I don't know how they commended outside of being all pro, but, man, it should be a little something extra somewhere down the line for him, Coach Mack.
Well, I mean, look, in professional sports, as a coach or a player, the biggest thing that separates people is consistency.
Yes. I
mean, and consistency is something that it's a mental approach, and it's also a disciplined approach that you have to have, and you have to make a decision as a coach and a player. This is what I believe in. This is what I'm sticking to, and regardless of what else is going on around me, I am going to stay with as disciplined and as on point as I can to bring everybody along with me. And it's hard to do. I mean, I've lived that life before. You've lived that life before. And the thing you have to do, I mean, it's as much a mental dedication as it is anything else.
Coach Dan McGinnis of Titans Radio, presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, with us on 104.5 The Zone. Coach Mack, one game left, and it's just felt like body after body keeps falling with injury, especially at the cornerback spot. You got Jalen Armour-Davis going down with an Achilles. Mike McCoy says his season is over. Marcus Harris just going into injured reserve. How big of a challenge is it to bring players in this late in the season, guys like Kemon Harris, guys like Kyer Elam, and have them thrown into starting roles, especially at a position like corner where the Titans have just been decimated as of late?
Well, that's just life. I mean, that's life in the attrition of the National Football League. When you're razor thin anyway and you start having attrition, especially multiple attrition in one position group, I mean, it sticks out and it shows. And sometimes when that happens, you reach a point of, as far as you're just getting out athleted on the field in open space.
Yeah.
And that's just life in this league. But nobody else cares about your problems. And so when you bring somebody else in, I mean, these coaches have done a really, really good job of incorporating guys in 3 and 4 days into starting roles, and especially in the back end. And the back end is brutal in this league. The space game in this league is brutal because everything is tilted towards the offense in the space game. And so it's just something you have to do. I've had to do it in my coaching career. You can't complain about it, but you just got to understand that there are some things that is going to be very, very hard to overcome. And right now, I mean, it just seems like they cannot catch a break as far as keeping anybody healthy back there in the back end through nobody's fault.
Coach Mack, going down to Jacksonville this week to wrap up the season. We watched Trevor Lawrence over the years, man, the revolving door of coaches. How important is it after giving him that big check at the beginning of the season, leaving some of us scratching our head like, what are they doing, for him to come back and kind of pay it off? And how well is he playing when you're looking at him on film?
Well, I mean, how many times have you guys heard me talk about time on task
Yep.
in this league, and especially at the quarterback spot? How many years has Trevor Lawrence been in the league now? I mean, this dude has been through it, but he never has lost the ability that he was drafted to. And it takes time there. I mean, people don't want to hear it. What is this, his 5th year?
Yep.
It takes time there. And now, also, the surrounding group that he has, this is the best surrounding group that he's had on both sides of the ball, not only offense, defense, but also in the kicking game. So all those things have to combine and come together. But to me, he has never lost the ability that he was drafted with. Now all of a sudden, he's starting to click and get the game and understand the game. Takes a while at that position, and he's a great example of it. Just like there's other quarterbacks around the league, some have changed teams that have been high draft picks, but in time on task in this league at the quarterback position, that's the whole key.
Yeah.
Coach Dan McGinnis, Titans Radio. You hear him and Taylor Zarzour on the call. Titans and Jags to finish out the 2025 regular season and ring in 2026. Coach Mack, we appreciate you and Happy New Year.
Most definitely, Mac.
Guys, same to you. I had dinner last night with the people in charge of this big thing that's getting ready to go on tonight. So believe me, it's going to be something to do tonight.
Will you be there? Will you be in attendance?
I said I was at dinner with them.
Hey, Coach Mack, I'm trying to hunt down Craig Nance, man, and get him. We're trying to lock in a dinner, man. You might have to put that together for us, man. We can't.
Let's go out. We can do that. You can't have any better dinner guest than Craig Nance.
Oh my God.
See you guys.
See you, Coach. Same to you. Always appreciate Coach Dan McGinnis. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. All right, let's get smart and make some money. Coming up next.
Man, I've been waiting on this.
Todd Furman. Next on 3HL. 3HL 104.5 The Zone on this New Year's Eve. Welcome back. Along with Ron Slay, I'm Lucas Panzica, stepping in today to close out 2025. Ross Johnston making it happen, and Todd Furman making us smarter. Now, I don't know if Todd
making me smarter
had the under on the amount of SEC wins at this point in bowl season, but the under is hitting, Todd, and Texas is deadlocked with Michigan at the moment to try and push that over the top just a little bit. But I don't know where you were on the Music City Bowl disappointment yesterday in Nashville between Tennessee and Illinois. Did you come out of that feeling any smarter with what the SEC has done early on in the bowl slate?
Well, I'm sure Slay can tell you how I felt about that game. We broke it down last week, and I thought his beloved Orange were going to be in a little bit of trouble. But I didn't think the entire SEC was going to stub its toe the way it has this postseason. Fortunately for the SEC, though, the playoff committee has allowed a couple of the teams to play each other in the playoff. So we haven't had the opportunity to kind of bet against the league that I thought was a little bit overrated and overvalued. And so far through these second-tier bowl games, the league's got a lot to prove with the teams in the quarterfinals vying for a national title.
Wow, Top Father. Well, I was about to give you props until you took a little dig right there in my beloved Vols and say you helped make me smarter, but I don't think you really do. But I'm going to give you an opportunity. By the end of this segment, we'll see if you do just that. So,
the good thing is, Slay, watching this Sun Bowl between Arizona State and Duke, I'm hoping you're not getting flashbacks to all offense and no defense, the way a former SEC Conference Player of the Year you like to go about his business on the hardwood.
Hey, man, something's wrong with you, dog. Hey, but Duke ain't played defense all year, so we knew to expect that. But this matchup tonight, man, Miami and Ohio State, dog. Like, I'm on the side of I want to see Carson Beck fail. I'm with that. But at the same time, I fell in love with this defensive line for Miami. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of torn. Where do I need to land? Where do you land on it, Todd Father?
I wish I had a strong opinion from a betting standpoint on the game today, but we can go through what the market is kind of telling us today, and we are starting to see tremendous support for Miami in this ball game. The number did get as high as 10 in the build-up to the contest. Every time it got to 10, though, there was a little bit of an appetite for the underdog. And earlier today, we saw a wave of support for Miami. We're kind of sitting at 8, more or less the market consensus. A very prominent book out here in Las Vegas sitting at 7.5. And a total that's extremely low in that 40.5, 41 range, which tells you this is going to have the feel of an NFL-type game more so than what we've grown accustomed to in college. I think the big question that Ohio State's going to have to answer in this game is, will they look to try and pick up the pace and tempo, given what we saw from them during the regular season and even into the Big Ten championship game, where they operated with the slowest pace of any team in a Power 4 conference, despite having the deepest and arguably the most athletic roster on the football field almost every single Saturday. You mentioned that defense for Miami, Slay, and I think they're going to have to play with their hair on fire. Ruben Bain has to see dollar signs in front of him if he can go out there and dominate in a game of this magnitude and potentially create a short field or two because of the concerns we have about this Miami offense. And you mentioned Carson Beck. Miami did everything they could to prevent him from losing the football game for them in the first round against Texas A&M. I know it was a little bit of inclement weather, but this is a Canes team that wants to run the football, throw it only when absolutely necessary, and this has all the makings of a defensive slugfest with the first team to 20. So can understand why the dog and under no doubt correlated if you're looking to try and get involved in this game.
Man, you mentioned the weather, Todd Father, so let's go on out to Pasadena. I don't know where that is, but Pasadena. Let's see what happens out there with this rain. Can you slow the Signetti group down? Does Alabama have an opportunity, even though they ain't been able to run the ball? Like, what happens out there under the granddaddy of them all with pour down going?
Yeah, going to be interesting to see if the forecast kind of clears up before kickoff. I know it's been raining steadily in Southern California, expected to continue in the overnight, early in the morning as well. So we can only hope that one of the best, most iconic venues from a college football standpoint can at least look pristine when we go through the pregame festivities, even if the track will get torn up by the end of the first quarter if it's a little bit soggy. I think when you're talking about inclement weather, normally and historically it would favor an Alabama team who did so much damage running the football, leaning on their defense. But everything that Alabama has been known for historically, Indiana does better in 2025. And that's being able to create balance on the ground, allowing their quarterback to operate with, a couple of underrated wide receivers on the outside and winning the battles in the trenches. So I think the wetter the environment and the slower the track actually works in Indiana's favor. For me with Alabama, look, the Crimson Tide I've been critical of for over a month now. I know I haven't exactly endeared myself off to Alabama fans in general. But having seen that Alabama team up close and personal in Norman for the first-round game against the Sooners, I really think Oklahoma losing that game had more to do with the way the Sooners gave it away than anything Alabama did. Some real concerns about Ryan Williams and what's been going on there, why he hasn't exactly played a bigger role for this team offensively. That all being said, you're not stealing anything, laying 7 with Indiana where the market currently sits, but I can see making a slight case to go under the total at 48. The reason that I haven't gotten to the window to try and bet it under, though, is because I do worry that Alabama may drop back Ty Simpson 40 or 50 times, and you're going to see a lot of stop clock if they're unable to string together drives with a short controlled passing game.
All right. I'm cool with that. Texas Tech, man, they like to spend money. Can they go buy themselves a championship? This is a great setup for them.
Spending money will only get you so far. So credit to Texas Tech for spending in the right places and addressing the offensive and defensive line. Their defensive line has no doubt been one of the best in the country, one of the more difficult teams to run on. But I think the big question all of us have around Texas Tech that's going to get answered tomorrow against Oregon is, was this Texas Tech defense as good as some of the numbers suggest, or was it a byproduct of going through a Big 12 schedule that other than BYU and Utah, you didn't really face teams that could match some of that physicality? Now, the one thing that Oregon will have an opportunity to do is throw on a Texas Tech secondary that hasn't faced a passing attack with a quarterback like Dante Moore all season long, some skilled wide receivers on the outside, so it should be an intriguing chess match. On the other side of the ball for Texas Tech, look, this is a team that hasn't had Baron Morton at 100% arguably all year. He's talked about how he's closer to 85% now, having gone through practices without a boot that kept him a little bit more immobile earlier in the year. But the one bugaboo for Texas Tech all year has been their inability to convert long drives into sevens. And if they're going to settle for field goals in the red zone against Oregon, not a recipe for success. I actually did make a bet on this game, though. Slay went under the total in the first half. Anything at 24 or better, I think you could see these teams kind of go through a little bit of a feeling out process, especially with that early kickoff at 12 o'clock Eastern down at Hard Rock tomorrow.
Okay, I like that. All right, Ole Miss and Georgia. I'm not betting against Kirby on this stage ever, but I will say I did sit this morning and listen to the press conference, and I feel like Golden he's just a little. He's saying all the right things. It feels like he's excited to be in this position. Does that carry over to this bunch in a situation where Lane Kiffin, I think, will be a little bit more relaxed coming into this, and him maybe being a little uptight, trying to prove, and Kirby take advantage of that? What's your thoughts?
I think the Rebels just have to lean into their offensive identity. Look, they're not going to have the edge in the coaching box, as you mentioned. Kirby Smart makes some of the best adjustments in all of college football, and we saw that the first time around where Ole Miss was the better team for more or less 3 quarters, and it was Georgia mounting that late rally to try and get outside the number and win in Athens by more than a touchdown. This is a game that's seen a lot of back and forth in the betting market so far. We saw Georgia actually open as low as 5.5, number got up to 7, and there was an appetite from some professional bettors to kind of gobble up those points with Ole Miss. My biggest concern, though, is if this game doesn't start well for Ole Miss, can Golding be able to stabilize things and get this group refocused? The other luxury that Georgia has is the extra time building up to this contest. Kirby, no doubt, will have a different game plan to slow down the Rebels' offensive attack that plagued them the first time around. And so if I was getting involved in this one, I would shop around and look to lay the 6 with Georgia. But I do think you'll have an opportunity to potentially jump in game should Ole Miss be able to mount a drive right out of the gates to kick things off.
Before we shift Todd Father to NFL, anything you got your eye on as far as college football goes? Any of these little bowl games?
You know what? Some of the secondary games don't offer that much intrigue right now. A couple of these numbers have really gotten away. If you're looking for a leg to try and tie into a moneyline parlay or maybe even look to dabble in the first half, I think this Navy number, Navy laying 7.5 in the Liberty Bowl, where I believe Babs is going to be on the sidelines for that game as well, has a chance to run a little bit further. I can see Navy closing upwards of 10 against a Cincinnati team that's down a lot of key contributors on the defensive side. We know that Brendan Sorsby has thrown his name in the portal. And the one thing we've been able to count on, even in the topsy-turvy bowl season over the last couple of years, is that the service academies come buttoned up, focused, and ready to play. They see this as a reward. So while I can't fully rubber stamp laying the 7.5, which is kind of the worst of the number, I do think Navy in the first half makes a world of sense, as I believe the Middies should be able to win and do so comfortably against the Bearcats at the Liberty Bowl.
The most excited I've been about the NFL in the last couple of weeks. coming up
Why?
this week.
Because the Titans season's about to be over, and you're not going to have to watch that brand of football for the next 6 months?
Tom Father, listen, man. Mayor kept on talking about how they've been covering so many games and everything. And me, being foolish as I am, said, you know what? Early in the season, I circled this New Orleans Saints game, and I said, man, I don't care when they play them, where they play them, they're going to beat the Saints. So what I do, I went out and bet on it. Not only did I bet on the little spread, them getting the little 3.5, I caught it early, and then I said, you know what, I'm feeling good about this. I see the way they playing, dominant, Cam figuring it out. I'm going to go on and bet money line, too, on it. And what did they do? Just did the Titans-like thing and let old Slay down, man. Dude.
Hey, they started well, built a 20-10 lead, and to your point, haven't shown an ability to execute for 4 full quarters. So we'll figure out what the Titans are going to do this offseason, who they'll end up bringing in, hopefully an offensive-minded head coach to allow Cam Ward to take the next step in his development. As you know, I haven't been as critical during our Wednesday chats as I am on text messages as it pertains to Cam Ward's pocket presence or lack thereof. So we'll see what the Titans can do this weekend. I really believe, though, this is an inflated number. Jacksonville hasn't typically been in this spot against a divisional rival, laying nearly 2 touchdowns with a number that sits in that 12.5-13 range. The Jags will need a couple things to fall their way to be a number 1 seed, but do control their own destiny to be a division champ, which I think deserves a ton of credit for Liam Cohen and what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence from where he started the season to where he is. But you're not going to catch me laying 12.5 here. I think the Titans, if you like the dog in this spot, wait it out as long as possible. Hope there's an opportunity that a 14 pops closer to kickoff, and the Titans do enough to keep the game competitive before they inevitably find a way to screw things up in the fourth quarter.
All right, things got set up the way they were supposed to. Atlanta figuring out a way to go on and get a victory, even though they tried to give the game away. But you got the Panthers and the Buccaneers. Now, we just talked to Cosell. Cosell saying, well, if Baker Mayfield, I was asking him, we go from the MVP talk to where he is now, and it's just something not clicking. He said, man, I'm not in his head, but watching the film, he's a little bit more hesitant. It's something that he's missing, that is not playing like him. Does Baker, who usually has a little bit magic left when things, his back's against the wall, can he do this at home and beat Carolina?
So my feeling is that Baker's been dealing with a bunch of injuries, a lot more serious than the Bucs and or Baker have let on, and you kind of expect that from someone wired like him, that he's not going to make excuses for his performance. And so if Greg's picking up lackluster performances on film, I have to imagine it's a little bit more than just the mechanics and the confidence that have plagued this team as they kind of limp to the finish despite getting all of their weapons back in the fold. You figured an offense that adds Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, pairing him up with Emeka Buka, would only be putting up crooked numbers. But here's the thing, Slay. In a game like this, suddenly the dynamics in play have changed substantially, knowing that even if Tampa wins and the Falcons end up beating the New Orleans Saints, Tampa doesn't have the ability to play themselves in like we anticipated going into Monday Night Football with the Rams a touchdown favorite. So fascinating developments there. Now, all that being said, these two teams played a couple weeks ago, and we saw Tampa close a full field goal favorite on the road in Charlotte. Here we are 2 weeks removed from that, Tampa racking up a few more losses, and Tampa is laying 2.5 in their own building, people thinking that they're finding a way to absolutely steal with the Carolina Panthers. From a numbers perspective, you're not going to have me making a case for Carolina here. I'm just not sure I want to try and entrust this Bucs team with any of my hard-earned money, given some of their current form. But I do think the total that sits at 44 is a little bit rich. I can see making a case for this to be slightly more defensive-minded. So if I was forced to bet it, I'd be much closer to laying the 2.5 with Tampa than I would be taking the 2.5 with the Panthers and looking for defense to rule the day, hoping that the Bucs raise their level of play and finally put together a complete 60-minute effort.
All right, now take me Seahawks and 49ers, man. I like this matchup right here. I don't believe that much in Sam Darnold, but somehow he continues to show what he is. But Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey got something different going on. What's your thoughts on this one?
Look, this 49ers offense is clicking on all cylinders, and it makes them an extremely difficult out. That being said, defensively right now, I mean, there may be some good high school football teams in the state of Tennessee that could move the ball against this 49ers stop unit. And here we are with Seattle laying a modest 1.5 points on the road. In this spot, I think the number is extremely fair, given the fact that Seattle is a much more complete team. But I do think we have an opportunity to kind of make a case to go under the total at 48, knowing that Seattle may do their best to play keep away, trying to run the football. And I think the 49ers, to some extent, have to kind of adopt that philosophy as well, because the only way that they can protect that defense is by keeping their offense on the field. So if we get some long, sustained drives, a high level of familiarity between these teams, I could see it resembling much more of that Week 1 matchup that ended 17-13 than some of these high-flying track meets that we have seen in recent weeks. So if I'm getting involved here, I'm looking to go under 48, and I'll say points at a premium, relatively speaking.
All right. Anything else you got your eye on in this NFL weekend, Todd Father? Because I ain't going to take you to basketball because I'm going to give you another couple of weeks before we dive into that.
For sure. And when you look at Week 18, it always takes on a lot more of a preseason feel, trying to figure out who's going to be in or out of the lineups. As I cautioned folks last week when we broke down some of the NFL games, be careful of buying into that must-win mentality. A lot of odds makers, rightfully so, will price in a premium if you want to bet teams that have something to play for versus teams that are just playing out the string. When I look at this Buffalo and Jets game, I think that total of 38 is a touch too high for a Mitchell Trubisky-led offense and a Bills team that could potentially be sitting a number of key contributors offensively. You have to think they're just going to want to try and run the football and get out of Dodge in one piece. And the Jets have been one step closer to Cancun since about Week 9 during the regular season. I can't see them putting on much of a fight. And in terms of some of the other games that are interesting to watch, look, I think the Green Bay Packers are going to rule out a lot of key contributors. Desmond Ridder was taking reps at practice today along with Clayton Tune. I know Jordan Love was listed at full. We may get a series from Jordan Love, but ultimately I think Green Bay, knowing how banged up they are and what's in front of them, are going to play a lot of backups. So I'd be looking to shop around a little bit. Still should be able to lay 7 on the Vikings, a scary proposition, but wouldn't be surprised at all if Green Bay struggles to get to 10 points.
In a rivalry, I'm not sure if points should be given, but you get one with Old Man River, not Phillip Rivers, but the other Old Man River, Aaron Rodgers, taking on Lamar Jackson, who has everything circling around him as far as, can he do this? His turmoil as far as the coaches, pointing fingers, this, that, and the other. Can the Ravens go in there and steal it from the Steelers, or do Mike Tomlin get his guys to the playoffs?
Look, Tomlin has done more with less in the past, and if that wasn't the most quintessential Steelers performance that we've ever seen last week, mustering 6 points on the road against the Cleveland Browns while the defense held them to 10, putting themselves in this spot, I don't know what is. But you try and dig into the matchups here, and I don't have the confidence to look to lay 3.5 with Lamar, who was a full participant in practice earlier today. Want to see if this number continues to climb, and maybe we have an opportunity to grab 4 with the underdog. That would be the only way for me to look. I do think this total, though, is a touch too low as it continues to come down from 43 to 41. Haven't gotten involved there yet, but these two teams defensively are a far cry from the Steelers and Ravens vintage units we've grown accustomed to in the past. So I lean towards the home underdog, despite them playing with Art Darnell Washington and DK Metcalf, and would be closer to going over the total as it sits at 41 than I would be to make a case for this to be a 2017 football game.
All right, Todd Father, man. You getting out in Vegas? Are you going to hide away in your little closet or something, man, while New Year's comes?
You know, the veterans out here in Las Vegas, Slay, they basically go out and celebrate New Year's Eve the night before. So I got my little fill-in of a couple adult beverages, a little bit of a Kings of Leon concert, Korean steakhouse. I will do everything I can to stay away from Las Vegas Boulevard tonight. I will turn it over to the locals, and I will let Dawn go out there and walk around with a lampshade on her head once she's done covering this RS Carriers Bowl at Allegiant Stadium.
Love you, dog. Happy New Year, Todd Father, man. We'll see you soon, brother.
Looking forward to it, guys. Have a happy and healthy New Year to both you guys and, of course, all the guys behind the scenes and the great 3HL listeners that love to get in my mentions and tell me how big an idiot I am each and every Saturday and Sunday throughout the fall.
All right, dog. Take care.
Be a good boy.
There you go.
Todd Furman?
Yeah, the Todd Father, man. I told you he was going to take some digs at us, man. It just happens. I don't know why it happens this way, but it just happens.
That was the easiest segment
I was gonna say
of my life.
You did a lot of work over there.
Can I do this every day? This is awesome. That was just sitting here being educated, man.
Hey, man,
that was amazing.
You just got to toss it up to Todd, man, and get out the way because he know what to do. He know how to deliver, and it's always so many games to hit on. Like it's always good.
He's got a little soliloquy for every single game.
Every
game, like he knows every.
It's insane. Currently, by the way, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl is heating up. Texas 24, Michigan 20. Arch Manning a 23-yard touchdown run to give Texas the lead. 5:18 to go in the third. It's a shootout in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Arizona State 39, Duke 35 with 8 minutes left.
That's silly.
Give Gary a good game to send him out.
And as Todd said, Don Davenport on the sidelines for the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, where Utah has a multi-score lead over Nebraska. It's 31-14 in the third.
Two things, though, man. The Cheez-It Bowl, did you know they had the turkey leg fried with Cheez-Its around it? Like, it was fried in Cheez-It.
Like it was breaded?
Yeah.
It was breaded in Cheez-It dust?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a turkey leg like it, dog. And it was smoking when they removed the top of it.
Oh, my.
That's
like
one.
what, like just regular Cheez-Its or like
Yeah,
the
no, it was
spicy
the regular.
Cheez-Its?
No, it was the regular Cheez-Its, yeah. I wish I could get a hold of that just to see what it's like. But the other one was the Tony the Tiger Bowl. Is this Frosted Flakes? Is this a Frosted Flakes bowl?
Yeah.
So what did the winner get? I saw the Pop-Tarts. You know, you get to eat a Pop-Tart. Do they give you like a bowl of Frosted Flakes?
Hey, I wonder if they do like a Frosted Flakes bath at the end for the winning coach.
They have to, because don't they do a Cheez-It bath for the Cheez-It Bowl?
Yeah,
They do a Cheez-It bath for the Cheez-It Bowl. They do mini Pop-Tarts. They do a French fry bath for the Potato Bowl.
They do mayo for the Mayo Bowl.
For the Mayo Bowl.
I've never seen them pour Frosted Flakes on anybody, though, ever.
That feels like an easy thing.
Got to do it with milk.
I would do that. I'll be right there. They would have to pour that inside of my mouth. I'm telling you.
You'd be like a little kid eating snow.
Oh, what? That'd be the greatest thing on earth. I would literally, and I think this is so nasty.
You know, you let your puppy out when it's snowing.
Yeah,
Just
that's me. I think it's nasty, dog. Like when people be picking the stuff up and everything off the ground. But me and the Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger Bowl, I would be scooping it off of the ground, eating it with my gloves on.
With the turf pellets in it?
Absolutely.
pellets and all.
Absolutely. Ain't nothing but a little crunch, a little added crunch.
Do you want it dumped on you with milk or no milk?
No milk.
No
I don't
milk,
know.
all right.
Well, no, I'll get the milk in the locker room.
Hey, if Nissan Stadium ever hosts the Tony the Tiger Bowl, that's coconut husk on the field, a little accent to the Frosted Flakes. I mean, just a little something.
What do they
extra.
get for the Music City Bowl?
It's
Just the trophy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked the bowl game. I should know.
Not every bowl game has like a special.
I think get a guitar or something, or a pick, or a hat. I know they got the hats made.
Like
they got the hats made.
I forget.
They would have to give me something.
The best bowl is whatever one's sponsored by Xbox or PlayStation, because everybody gets consoles.
And the trophy itself is a video. Butch Jones and Arkansas State won the Xbox Bowl.
Did they?
They did. Well, one of the first bowl games of the year, and they got the trophy itself is like a playable. It's literally a console. Yeah.
And like both teams' players got consoles, all of them.
No.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
That's the one I go to.
Did you have FOMO as a basketball player for all the football players getting free stuff?
Man.
Like Ramon's going to Tampa and he's getting. I remember talking to Ramon about just all the stuff that they got. I don't know if it matters as much now because these dudes are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, but.
No, it matters still.
But there's FOMO there when you were a basketball. Like, where's our bowl game? What do we get for going to the NCAA tournament?
Pissed about it. I couldn't stay. I remember what did we went? We went to the Christmas tournaments. We went to the Great Alaskan Shootout. Man, they gave us a little watch. I'm like, man, nobody want this watch. Like, we went.
You're getting like socks, and Ramon's getting like PlayStation.
Dude, and then we went to the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii. They gave us a little statue, a little wooden statue. Man, we could have threw that in the fire pit.
You're like, I want headphones.
Yeah, give us something like that. And they used to give them a big old check. Like, they were paying for them to go out there to the bowl games and stuff. Yeah, but a big old check, not a little regular per diem, like a couple $100s, now thousands. I'm like, dog, that's so weak, man. I hated that. They just come back buying all kind of stuff, man.
Like, you got to get something if you win your region in March Madness. Like, if you go to the Final Four in the East region, you need something other than a T-shirt in the net.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree.
They get a T-shirt and a piece of the net?
Well,
really?
you just hit a sore spot because we were that close to figuring out if we got something, if we would have won that. You know what I mean? Beating Carolina, but we didn't. So,
well, they're straight up just getting money now. And there's one player that's being brought back to the college game, basketball side, in a story that's sweeping the country. And we have not heard Ron Slay's take on this yet. We'll do it next on 3HL. United Structural Systems is a foundation repair and waterproofing company that has served the Middle Tennessee area since 1994. If you have foundation repair or waterproofing issues or concerns or questions, USSTN.com is the website. 615-488-7855, USSTN.com. When it comes to large home repairs, a lot of times homeowners pretend you don't want to see the warning signs. Maybe you're afraid of what you're going to hear. This is especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. Could be something big that needs to be fixed. It could be a small
small problem now that will become bigger, or it could be nothing at all. Bottom line is, you don't know, and you certainly don't want to be sold something that you don't need. You need peace of mind, and United Structural Systems is the company to give you that. Over 30,000 100% satisfied residential customers. Homeowners trust USS, keeping homes dry and stable. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. USS, serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Online at USSTN.com.
All right, we pause our football talk for a moment here to talk about one of the biggest stories in college sports at the moment, as Baylor has made an acquisition in James Nagy, Nigerian international, who's played the last 4 to 5 years in Europe. Barcelona was the 31st overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft and has college basketball eligibility and has been signed by the Baylor Bears, 7-footer, middle of the season. And it has prompted all sorts of states of the union from the likes of Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley and all of the voices that you hear addressing the problems in college sports, college basketball, specifically. But Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears slate make an unprecedented move here that feels like could open Pandora's box for players that maybe didn't play college basketball, which is the case of James Najee, or didn't exhaust all of their college basketball eligibility, which obviously happens in spades every single year in the NBA draft.
Yep.
What was your initial reaction to this? Because it has prompted a reaction from every corner of college sports, whether Kelvin Sampson is saying, listen, I don't blame Scott Drew for doing what's best for his team. We got to figure out a way to put parameters on this thing. And then there's Tom Izzo, who is calling out his friend Scott Drew for doing things that in his mind are not for the betterment of the game. Where are you on this when you saw this news?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to coaches, man, coaches got to do whatever they got to do to save their job, because we know with the blink of an eye, they will be X'd out immediately. You have 1.5 of losing seasons or on the road to a losing season, they'll get you right up out of there. Him being safe at Baylor with the national championship in his back pocket still wants to win. He likes to be in that realm. Still a younger type guy in this game. So with no rules out there, I mean, he's not breaking one by going to go do that. So I think Tom Izzo, I think, is just talking about the morale factor of being able to, stand tall and lean in like the rest of the coaches are. But I watched it, man, and I think it's stupid. I think it's beyond stupid. I think it's neglect at the same time, because when you talk about the NCAA, and I think they had a lot of time to be able to save face within the last couple of years by making an example or decision to kind of better the sport. And you continue to let it get out of whack, which also shows us that very soon the NCAA will be null and void. I think this is just them showing like we have no control. We don't know what to do about this. Charlie Baker coming out making statements, but I gave a standing ovation to Coach Kyle last night on the SEC Network because of what he said and drawing the attention to it. I think, man, you neglect the student athletes that are coming out of high school, even with them getting paid right now, still you limit their chances to be able to get to college and go and perform at what is a lot of us growing up playing amateur sports. That's the dream. Yeah, of course, the ultimate goal, the cherry on top is to make it professional in whatever sport you're in. But, man, you want to go to college, you know what I'm saying, and play on that landscape even more so now than back in the past, because like you can literally go get paid and start a profession while in college. But the guys that are in high school, if you're not in the top 100, it's a wrap for you. Like it's no leg to stand on. Not only are you fighting against that, but you're also fighting against, like Coach Cal talked about, the rules not being the same for Europeans. You were able to go get them. They were able to dive into the game just here and there. You see one or two sprinkled in. Now, as you see UT Martin down the road, I think they got 11 guys on their roster from Europe. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to attack that with guys. And when you think about that, they've been playing in a professional league since they were 12, 13 years old. So they have a leg up. Just may not have the athletic ability because of the way we're genetically built over here. You know what I'm saying? In the United States. So you're able to go get guys, when you're talking about the young man that got taken to Baylor, a guy that's been able to play professional sports and then come back and play against 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Dude, that's why you have an age limit of where you can play. You can always play up. You never hear about people playing down. So that's like taking in AAU, we got a 17-year-old and we got a 14 and under AAU team. We switch up his birth certificate, and we're going to let him go play down. He's just out here dominating, like looking like Wembanyama. People
I
like,
am 12.
Yeah, like what are we doing, man? So
I swear that happens too, by the way.
And it does. And
just to win a tournament.
So, okay, so think about how the outpour and the outcry was for that. You know what I mean? When that was happening. Now you're doing it on a greater stage, and is this supposed to be cool? So how is it cool now once you get to college sports, but it wasn't growing all the way up? So I just think it's silly, man. And then it's going to trickle down to these parents, man, that are going to tell kids they're going to hold them back. If you never get any rules around it, and I hope there are rules soon, but you can hold your kid back however long you want to. Like I graduated high school at 17, man. went into college and was playing against my peers. The craziest thing you would hear is a guy, a fifth year that had 2 major injuries that probably got it together. Now he's 23. That was as high as you were going to get. Chris Winkie was the outlier in all of these stories. You know what I'm saying? Like him coming back and playing. Kelly Washington at University of Tennessee. But still, it wasn't to this level. Going to go get a guy that played professional in that sport, that's cheating. That's straight up cheating. Regardless of how good you became while playing, you know what it's like to play against grown men and you coming back and play. Think about how when people fail in school and they go back and repeat the grade. Like I did that in 8th grade. I failed because of tardies. Had to go back and repeat the 8th grade the first semester. Dog, do you know the classes I think were 50 minutes? I was finishing my work in 15. I'm like, dude, this work's so easy. Like, it's getting the opportunity to retake the test that you did no good at. You wouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. So I think it's stupid, man. And if they don't get control of it, hey, man, I do think the coaches have enough power and the Power 4 conferences have enough power to pull away and say, we're not going to stand for this. And I think that's what it's going to have to come to if the NCAA, who doesn't get up off the couch to even answer the door, you know what I'm saying, we'll make a move on it. It's bananas to me.
Slippery slope.
Were you all surprised, too, that it was Scott Drew, the one that did it?
I am, just because of the realm that he's in. Like, that coaching fraternity is very, very, very tight. And everybody has each other's number. I would expect an outlier to be able to do it. Who would be that outlier? I would say
I was thinking like a Will Wade would have done it.
Will Wade, that is a Will Wade move, man.
Giving a damn
all the way.
You're exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, but I wouldn't expect Drew to do nothing like that, and I expect the other coaches to hold him accountable. So we'll see how it shakes out.
SEC play starts this weekend. Tennessee at Arkansas in a ranked matchup. Kentucky at Bama. Vandy looking to preserve an unbeaten record at South Carolina. And that gets going as we ring in 2026, and we'll ring in the final hour of the show. Take a closer look at some of these college football playoff matchups in 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Good evening from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. Tennessee lost a tough one last night in the Music City Bowl, 30-28 to Illinois. Vanderbilt also lost a tough one today, 34-27 in the ReliaQuest Bowl to Iowa. The college football playoff quarterfinal kicks off tonight at 6:30 as Miami and Ohio State face off in the Cotton Bowl. Tomorrow's games are as follows: Oregon and Texas Tech at 11 a.m. in the Orange Bowl, Alabama and Indiana at 3:30 in the Rose Bowl, and Ole Miss and Georgia face off at 7 in the Sugar Bowl. Lastly, in a few pieces of NFL news, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson was back on the practice field today after suffering a back contusion in Week 16. His status is still up in the air for the Ravens Sunday night game, but is looking good as of now. And on the flip side, the Steelers will be without tight end Darnell Washington, who was placed on season-ending IR after suffering a broken arm last week. However, there is some optimism from head coach Mike Tomlin that edge rusher T.J. Watt could return this week as he has been dealing with a punctured lung for the last few weeks. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour of 2025. 104.5 The Zone, 3HL. Lucas Panzica. I'm in for Brent Doherty today. Don Davenport on assignment, doing sidelines for the Las Vegas Bowl. Man, the bowl action is on fire right now.
Live, man.
The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Duke 42, Arizona State 39 inside the 2-minute timeout. Texas 24, Michigan 20 in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl as we get into the fourth quarter, early fourth quarter, down there in Orlando. Ron Slay is here.
I'm in the building. Let's go, good people. Almost New Year time, baby. Almost New Year time.
Ross Johnston's making it happen. So Joseph Bonanno on assignment. What is Joseph doing when he's on assignment?
Nobody knows what his assignment is.
Usually listening into the dang show.
Just being real, yep.
Like,
I can't believe he ain't hopped in the chat today.
what day was it last week he called in when he was driving back
He
from somewhere?
called in, on his day off. Like,
Man,
what are you doing, dog?
Take a day.
Yeah, get out of here.
615-737-1045 is how you call in. Not you, Joseph. I know you're listening. F&M Bank chat is active. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. College football playoff action out there. Yeah.
Good job.
It's the muscle memory's not there for me.
Good job, Ross Johnson.
College football playoff action starts tonight. Some headlines quickly across the NFL. Jalen Hurts will sit this week. Eagles resting starters.
Here we go.
They have clinched the NFC East. Not a lot of starters resting this weekend, though, in the NFL. Some high-stakes games in the NFL. They are going to sit Justin Herbert, the LA Chargers, as he deals with the hand injury, which has implications for the race for the 1 seed because the Chargers play the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Who are a win away from the 1 seed in the AFC. Obviously, the Patriots and Jags are lurking, needing a Broncos loss, but the Broncos play Trey Lance at Mile High Stadium.
Oh.
So, tall task for New England, who needs to win against Miami. It needs the Broncos to lose to get the 1 seed. The Jags would need the Patriots to lose to the Dolphins and for the Broncos to lose, and, of course, to beat the Titans. More of an uphill climb.
I like it.
The Green Bay Packers have claimed ex-Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs off waivers.
Huh.
Quick.
That didn't take long.
Collecting the former Cowboys. Micah Parsons down for the year, but Trayvon Diggs heads to Green Bay for this playoff run. So he does not clear waivers, and he heads up to Wisconsin.
I like that. Don't let him sit around. Come on in here and make some plays. That's what they tell him.
So you said they're sitting some people this week, Green Bay?
No, that's Philadelphia
Philly,
is resting
okay.
starters.
I was going to say, I would imagine they would want to get him like 15 snaps in this game if they could, just to get him up to speed.
Yeah, Philly has clinched the division. They are resting starters. Titans-Jags, noon kickoff on Sunday. You can hear it right here on Titans Radio. College football playoff action tonight. The largest spread of the college football playoff is, as I'm looking at it, Ohio State minus 7.5 over Miami. You may have it differently based on what you're looking at. It has come down by a couple of points at Jerry World. Is this the tallest task Ohio State has faced in the trenches? What Miami brings up front, offensively and defensively. Am I discounting Indiana and the job they've done up front by saying that?
Yeah, you are.
But on paper, like Francis Maui-Goa in that Miami offensive line, Ruben Bain in that Miami pass rush, I'm just going to keep doing this thing with Indiana where I'm marveling at what they're doing, but being like, yeah, but, look at what this team has versus what. But it's just, I can't even compute it, Slay.
That's why I am, Pan. I'm right, and I'm so glad to hear you say that because I feel like I've been the only one that's been sitting here like, all right, man, this is pretty cool what they're doing, but at some point, the clock has to strike 12 and the pumpkin has to appear. At some point, I just don't know when it is. Now, listen to their coach. I listened to his presser. They asked him about Alabama. I thought he gave the greatest answer. Like, you guys probably know about Alabama mystique. These guys don't know about it. It's like Cignetti, man. Dude, I would play for Cignetti. I would play for him. Like, you gotta love that. But at the same time, it's the Indiana. Like, it is Indiana football. At some point, I know they got the Heisman guy. I know they got him. But does it all come crumbling down at some point? And is this sustainable? All he does is win? Absolutely you do. But, man, when you run up against these teams like this, now I don't think it'll be Alabama, but we shall see, man. I don't even know, man.
You told me you weren't buying. You said, no, they got to beat Ohio State.
I did.
Show me.
I did.
So now what?
I still don't believe it.
They went into the Big Ten championship, and they won up front.
They handled them.
With the game on the line, they got the first downs they needed. They held that Ohio State wide receiver core. They limited Jeremiah Smith as much as one possibly can.
Yeah.
And they won the Big Ten championship. Yeah. They're undefeated with a road win at Oregon, a top 5 team in the playoff.
Who I didn't believe in.
And a conference championship win against Ohio State, the number 2 overall seed in the playoff. And you're still sitting here going, show me.
I'm still doing it.
Slay, Zach, Blaine, and I all 3 picked Bama to win this game.
I'm like,
I don't know what it is.
I'm telling you, dog. I wish they could be called the Indianapolis Knights or something.
You just can't, that IU, you just can't do it.
It's the Hoosiers. It's basketball. Even Buck hasn't been clamoring at what this success really means in football. That's what I'm saying.
He couldn't care less.
That's how you know. Like, it's just really real.
Yeah, but he's just not a good fan. Like, there are legions of Indiana fans that this is incredible what's happening, and they're embracing the moment. As they should. I think it's going to be a great turnout for IU fans at the Rose Bowl.
Too.
I think it's going to be a great crowd. We were surprised. We were looking at ticket prices this morning, Buck and Robert and I, because we saw some reports. Barrett Salih was tweeting out there that the get-in price for the Oregon-Texas Tech game, Miami-Ohio State game, that you could get in for $38 this morning.
Really?
Which I was surprised by. I don't know. 2 big fan bases, historic programs in Dallas. So we got to looking at the Rose Bowl, and there were tickets for a couple $100 to watch.
Really?
Alabama, Indiana. Bama hasn't been in the Rose Bowl since the 20s. Indiana has such a wide following, Slay. It just hasn't translated to football until now, and I think they're showing up.
They do.
IU 7-point favorites against Alabama. Like, I'm with you guys in that mindset. Like, to me, Alabama beating Indiana is a point spread upset, but I can't sit here in my right mind and say that's enough. Like, this whole thing, everything Indiana is doing is an upset. If they beat Bama, it's an upset. If they go on to the whole experience is an upset because it's something that we still can't compute.
Yep. As soon as they take an L, everybody will be like, see, I told you. I knew what it was, but
everything on the field, Alabama doesn't have a win that comes close to anything Indiana's done this season.
They don't. And we actually know that Indiana's the better team. And I still don't want to pick them. I still won't pick them. So we'll let it shake all out, man, and we'll see. We'll see.
What gave me confidence in Bama, besides the win, obviously, but since I'm a receiver, was seeing, instead of Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Lozier Brooks, 2 tutties in Oklahoma, like just showing the depth and the pieces they got to get the football to on offense. That made me feel a little bit better.
Ryan, my bad.
No, go ahead.
What'd you think about what Todd Father said about, it was more, he felt it was more Oklahoma just giving that away than, somebody emerging or Alabama kind of just taking their game?
I mean, the interception at the end of the half from Mateer certainly did not help. I think that changed, it reminded me, I hate to say it, but it reminded me of the Tennessee-Bama game, maybe because it was Xavier Brown both times. But Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think Ty Simpson made a lot of good plays that we hadn't seen from him in a little bit to win that game.
Yep.
Ryan Williams hasn't had more than 45 receiving yards in a game in 2 months. At South Carolina, he went 7 for 72, one 100-yard receiving game all season.
That's crazy.
Week 2 against Wisconsin, where he went crazy, 5 catches for 165, 2 touchdowns, including a 75-yarder. It's like, yeah, that's Ryan Williams.
Yes.
Hasn't happened this year. And Todd Furman pointed out he attributed that Alabama win in Oklahoma more to the meltdown by Oklahoma than the resurgence by Alabama in that game.
That's tough.
And then here's Indiana that's done nothing but win up front, play complimentary football.
On the road.
No moment has been too big whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the greatest coaching job in college football history. Nothing else can even come close to me.
No.
The difficulty level of what Kurt Cignetti is doing, I can't even compute it still.
So this is the Hoosiers movie. It's just in football.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right.
How much Bustin' Diamond reminds me, Bama played Michigan in the Rose Bowl in 2023. That is correct. That was Saban's last game. Pre-playoff, Alabama hadn't been to the Rose Bowl since the 20s.
So would you go in and step out with knowing what you know and say, all right, Pan, I give you $100,000, man. You got to bet it one way or the other.
Oof.
Alabama or Indiana.
We're talking money line or points?
Points. Money line would be too easy.
I'd take Alabama. I just.
This is what I say. Like,
it's not something I
see what I'm saying.
There's not a shred of logic.
That's all I'm saying.
On what has happened on the field this season that should suggest that.
That's all I'm saying.
But it's like it's a reflex. It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
How much stock do you put in Lane Kiffin's absence against Georgia tomorrow night for Ole Miss? Ole Miss lost 43-35 at Georgia midseason.
Is he really going to be absent though? He'll be there.
He will apparently be there.
Lane?
And could potentially be doing an interview with ESPN at the Sugar Bowl.
Ole Miss is gonna lose.
Bet you he stays for the whole game too. Unlike
Ole Miss is lose.
The what was it, the Texas Bowl that Kiffin didn't bother to stay for the second half.
It's all about Lane.
To watch his team.
And that's why they're gonna lose. Lane, get out of the way.
He's become so impossible to defend.
Get out the way, brother. Like, go do your thing in LSU. You made everybody, y'all went and got on the plane. If you're not coming with me, all right, so well. Like, go do your thing at LSU, man. Get out the way. Let Golden have this, man. You had an opportunity. It's over. It's over.
I've tried to. I tried to defend Lane Kiffin through this stuff because, in principle, leaving Ole Miss for LSU, it just felt like. Right, and it just felt like that was the thing people had issue with. Oh, he's always going to leave you. It's like, okay, like it sucks. It's a rival, and all, but it's Ole Miss. You understand that, but the way that he has completely made it about Lane Kiffin over the last few weeks has just become impossible to defend.
Problem.
On3 Sports reported that Lane Kiffin reached out to ESPN personnel about possibly appearing in the broadcast booth for a segment during the Sugar Bowl.
I bet he did. I bet he did.
You got to be kidding me.
And you can't turn that down. As ESPN, Fox, whoever it would be, you can't turn that down. Not for the eyes that he's going to have on it.
Sources say, and this is Chris Lowe reporting, ESPN has not been receptive.
Ooh.
So we'll see if Lane makes an appearance.
That's interesting.
How many televisions will be broken in Mississippi if Lane Kiffin shows up while Ole Miss is losing in the Sugar Bowl?
What was it that he didn't show up for, that he was supposed to show up for? Recently, golly,
was it in the bowl game? He just left.
Yeah, okay.
He did his hit with the ESPN broadcast crew and then dipped.
Okay,
before the game was over, he didn't stay for the second half. To watch his team who ended up losing to Houston.
Yeah, got a couple vids to put out on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, that's all.
The mascot,
it's for face value. That's it. Just doing it for show. Nah, I'm cool on him.
Michigan 27, Texas 24, 8:43 to go. Back and forth. Bryce Underwood and Arch Manning just dueling it out at this point. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is over. And Duke gets it done in El Paso, 42-39 over Arizona State.
Frosted Flakes in the helmet?
I don't know if there's been the frosted. I don't know if
I'm getting this on.
If Manny Diaz got the Frosted Flakes.
I'm going on TV right now. Who's playing the game?
Duke, Arizona State. Might be bowl game of the year.
Duke, Arizona
Well,
State.
Duke basketball hanging on by 4 as well.
Dude,
Looks
I'm
like
sitting there
against
watching
Georgia
that, too.
Tech. Well, it might be more than 4, but man. Well,
No,
heart rate's
it's
beating fast
4.
back here.
79-83, 7.9 left. They just fouled. Duke did. I mean, Georgia Tech did to put Duke at the line.
Come on, boys.
Ramon
Y'all
Foster
got it. Big Savage.
coming up next. Ringing in the new year on 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Glad to be here. Lucas Panzica filling in for Brent Doherty. Ron Slay is here.
Yeah.
Ross Johnston's making it happen. And Ramon Foster is here.
Big Savage,
To get
man.
one last segment in 2025. What's up, Moan?
Not much, man. Y'all know y'all special, man, because I ain't even do my own show today, and I came on and did y'all's show. But here's the thing. Savage do the same thing for us every single week. He'll be out of town. Might not even be able to do his show, but he'll do his thing on Friday with us, man. Those are the things I'm here for, man. More of that in 2026. You know, going on your friend's show, that type of stuff.
I'm glad you noticed that, Savage. I appreciate that, bro.
No doubt.
Sliding on through, man. So, Savage.
Lucas, how we feeling?
Yeah, talk to him. There we go. Talk to him. See, I knew Savage was gonna come in and see how the water is today.
I'm invisible. I'm just coasting for 3 hours. Moan, we had Todd Furman on the show, and I think I said about 4 words. It was beautiful.
Hey, I was listening to y'all in that segment, man, and you know what I said? I said, one, you get Savage going with Todd. You hear me? Todd, father, the betting czar himself. I said, you just need to move over. That's all I do whenever he comes on with them on every Wednesday. I just sit back and I don't mess with the chat. I don't do a thing. Pan, hear me out. By the way, I started calling you Pan now because he calls you Pan.
That's right.
Okay. But, Lucas, all I'm saying is this, dog. That is his lane, and you just move out of the way, okay? Like, I get the betting stuff, but, like, between him and Todd Furman, it is like a sparring session. Like, it legitimately is a sparring session of Ron saying, like, yeah, this is cool, but let me bet it down a little bit. And Todd Fowler just continues to say, you know what? Why am I even on here? I love this for them.
Yeah, it'd be like going 30 in the left lane. I can't be doing that.
Don't get me started on that. I hate those people, but go ahead.
Talk to us about last night. How did you come away feeling about the Music City Bowl in Tennessee not having the football for any second in the last 11-minute, 40-second stretch of the fourth quarter?
It was, to me, problematic. I thought it was lethargic. Just the entire game, I felt like at times was like lethargic. You start the first series or two off, you know, just like, okay, we'll figure this thing out. And I personally hated the thinking behind it. Like we saw, and Mike Keith and I both said it on the broadcast, and Swain saw it, and everybody in the building was talking about the free safety look. And sometimes in those types of games, you just got to kind of take what they give you. And they were playing essentially like a 6-man box. Too high with a third safety hovering in the middle right there. There we go, Texas. Save the SEC, y'all. Come on. They just got an interception. But it was a game to me where I felt like they were trying to, you know, do more than what was presented to it. And the truth be told, that's all Illinois did was take what was in front of it, didn't do too much, wasn't asking for a whole lot. They ran the ball. They played solid defense from time to time and capitalized off the ball's issues. There's a point moving forward for Coach Heupel and his staff offensively, but they got to figure out a different way of operating in that three safety look. And if that means that you continue to, death by 1,000 paper cuts, 1,000,000 paper cuts, heck, if you have to, then do that. I understand, and everybody does know how explosive that offense is, but that to me is an issue. Figuring that out, I hope in 2026, that side of the ball specifically, because that is your calling card. That's what made everything fun about what Tennessee was capable of doing. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing be improved. Now, the defense, Lucas, like that was just the DNs not staying home. You know they're going to go outside on you. You're watching guys drop back in coverage and get way too wide when you're playing too high safety, and you know they're going to throw behind you. They're playing cover 3 and they hit the seams. Like, it was just a lot of just issues. It looked like that side of the ball, like the coach was fired and guys were trying to figure out what was next. To me, I felt like it was more than anything, man. It showed, like, depending on who you were playing and what the bowl was, the level of importance just didn't seem to be there, and the detail was lacking too. So when Coach Knowles coming in, I legitimately am hoping for the benefits of both sides of the ball that guys, walk around with their head up a little bit high and feel tight while being in the building, because, the expectation, I feel like, needs to get a little higher than what it's presented as right now. In moments where you got to beat teams, bad in those type of moments. I didn't think there was anything special about Illinois other than their discipline and how they capitalized on their game plan. I wasn't even mad about it. I will say, before I saw you guys on the elevator, Lucas, the reporters from, I guess, the Illinois beat, they were just like, oh, I was just hoping for it. They said, just like basketball. And I looked at them, just shook my head a little bit. And then another guy was just like, his little, reporter buddy that was with him, he said, what did he say? He was like, yeah, the SEC just had a long run for a while, and now they're finally up top. And I just looked at him like, this meant a lot to you, huh? Like, it was just, that's one of those type of moments, man. I will say that Big Ten SEC conversation is going to get louder, especially if we don't get more wins or win the Natty in this college football playoffs. But I will give them credit. I heard y'all speaking about Signetti and, Ron Day getting his, stuff together and everything else. I think the quality of coaches that are representing the Big Ten might be a step above where the SEC is right now. I think we got a lot of really good coaches. And you got a coach in Lane Kiffin that's changing schools because he can't make it work at Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the quality that they have. Like, what the hell is Kurt Signetti? Nobody knew this until he goes to Indiana and poof. Like Dan Lanning is a part of this. You look at what Ryan Day has got a part of it. Michigan recently won the national championship. The SEC's got to get its quality up. Like, the athletes are there. I just look at what the Big Ten has did as of late and how they're going about it. And I know a lot of money is involved in this too. But, like, you ain't supposed to be losing teams where you got better athletes and just a better team. And I felt the Vols were a better team with better athletes last night. Look at Arch Manning. Go SEC. But, Lucas, that was my long answer, man, to what last night was and meant to me moving forward in 26. So
60-yard touchdown by Arch Manning to put Texas up 10 with the extra point pending, 5 minutes left.
So Lucas, who's gonna be the overall favorites for Heisman next year?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Arch would be the number one pick in the draft if he came out right now.
Really?
I think he would be the number one pick over Fernando Mendoza. Is that insane?
No, it's not. It's not insane.
Man, the last name is powerful.
For this reason. And you'll start with the name. And you'll see, especially if he left after this game, you say to yourself, oh, that's the guy that we're going to put that P-word potential on. Like, yeah, I'm with you right there, Lucas. He would be the number one overall pick.
All right. Savage, you know what? Before we move on from that game, man, this watching the game last night, man, when we were on defense, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it gave me flashbacks to when, when there's not many times you're going to be the least athletic on the field, man, and it just felt like we were the weaker, less athletic team. Now, I know it was a lot of opt-outs and things of that nature, but good gosh, man, it was like, man, they doing anything they want to our defense. Like, it could have been 3rd and 70, and I felt like at some point, 2 plays, they can go get it if they want to, and it wasn't even nothing dynamic that they were doing offensively. It was just like, okay, we're going to go get this, man. And the confidence, watching the confidence grow was terrible to watch.
It was. Defense, like you said, that side of the ball had its issues as far as opt-outs and injuries that have happened. Yeah. And youth, too, playing a part in it. And defensive coordinator got fired, too. Mm. But here's the thing. You walk out there, Savage, none of that matters. Like, to me, I felt like it was a cloud somewhat hovering over, trying to beat the stench of what happened in the last regular season game in Knoxville. But it was more of the same. Like, you saw Indiana just kind of, body blow you in the first half, and next thing you know, they started taking headshots and stuff like that. Like, that run, the inability to stop the run showed up again. The, showing presence of guys overrunning tackles or can't get guys down, or 3rd and 1 situations, well, hell, you might as well just count it as a first down in those situations. Like, there was a lot of that did happen, and that's what I'm hoping moving forward, either by the caliber of player that they're bringing in. And I'll say this, they're bringing in a lot of guys. But I would say this, though, too. I do think their discipline, their keys defensively, the reputation the standard that they have to play with goes up. I watched a good bit of that Iowa-Vandy game, and I was texting my homeboys, man, and I was just like, we need a defense like that. They were sound. Guys beat guys up front. Even on the passes that were caught, you know, like those dudes were still in and around the zone, like 2-3 guys. It wasn't just one dude making a solo tackle by himself. Everybody was to the ball. Like it was clean, and you can tell it was hard hitting too. That's where and I'm sure a lot of All Nations hoping Coach Knowles sends that defense too, because to your point, Savage, the SEC is going to get harder. Heck, all the college football is going to get harder. Yep. And you know what? They might have to get older at certain positions. But that level of execution and just knowing what the heck you're doing and making it look like that has to grow up. Like, I'm looking at Texas right now, like pressure right now again. Is that another interception? Yes, it is by Texas. Like, those splash plays have to happen. My bad if I'm updating y'all live on this. But yes, Savage, I felt the exact same thing that you did with what I was seeing, man. And having to just call the game, I couldn't say that on the air just then, but, like, that's my evaluation of it. Like, that type of stuff has to get cleaned up because they're getting the athletes to be able to do those types of things. It's a matter of them executing it and following the game plan. Discipline, I think, is going to be a bigger thing going into this 2026 season. And the other part, though, too, there may end up being an adjustment. You know, like a growth period. I'll kin Jim Knowles to the way I think Coach Cutcliffe came in with us. 06 was fair when Coach Cut came in. And then that 07 season, we took off and went to another level. I think they're really good friends or maybe have coached together, too, at some point in time. I would probably project his influence to be more like that. Like, I won't go out and just say 26 right now is going to be, yes, this is, you know, CFT and or bust. I think this should be a big-time growth year for the Vols, and you should see better discipline out of them, especially on the defensive side.
Good job,
I went long right there.
No, Savage, you went to work, Savage, is what you did. Like, my dog been off all day, just relaxing, just soaking up all these games and everything, feet kicked up. You came in and did exactly what you were supposed to do, Savage. That's all you did.
I did, because I know, listen, Merry New Year to y'all, man. But I will say this, though, too. I heard y'all conversation about Indiana and Bama.
Yeah. What's your thought?
I feel the exact same way.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
So here's my thing. In my bracket I did with Will, I did OU beating Bama, okay? And then I had Oklahoma beating Bama, then I had Indiana beating Oklahoma. That's the way I saw it unfold, man. I will say this because it's Bama, whatever. Yeah. I got that as being the case. Yeah. I got Texas Tech over Oregon. Will doesn't believe in the quarterback, but I love Texas Tech's defense. And to be real with you, I don't know what Oregon's strong suit is. So that's what I picked. I got Georgia over Ole Miss. That's an easy one. And I actually got Ohio State over Miami.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Why? Do you think this front line for Miami can get to Ohio State though?
Do I think? Yes, absolutely they can. But Ohio State's proven it before, and like the issue for me is what version of Carson Beck are you going to get? And then the other thing though too is the fact that Miami ran the ball down. Okay, Miami ran the ball down Texas A&M's throat. I would guess Ohio State is going to be keen on saying if anybody beat us, it's not going to be the run game, and you're going to have to rely on Carson Beck. And relying on Carson Beck made him transfer out of Georgia. You feel my drift? Yep. Like that to me is kind of the way I'm looking at that. I'm not saying that Miami ain't got the O-line, D-line to do it, but we've seen Carson Beck look like you know what I'm saying, a busted shoe at times. In moments, you don't need him to look like that.
Very true. Very true.
So, in Ohio State secondary, I mean, they're elite. They got first rounders on the defensive line also, and they got, some mid, early round guys on at the second level also. So that could be a problem for him, but he will have protection. I just don't know who he's going to throw it to in those moments, especially if Ohio State takes away the run game.
Kicking off in a little under an hour at the Cotton Bowl to start the college football playoff action for the week. Ramon, appreciate you, man. Happy New Year.
By the way, one more thing. So moving forward, when they were talking about like Indiana football, we can't mention Buck at all. I just want to say that there's a better representative out there, and his name is Travis Harder.
It sure is,
like, he's the one.
Is he there?
Okay.
Is he? I know he went to the Big Ten championship.
I know he went to Vegas. I thought he went to Vegas. Yeah, he went to Vegas.
Oh, he's
I was
with
hoping my boy.
Okay.
Man, I was hoping my boy went to that one, man. Because I know he had a blast whenever they played.
It might pop over,
That's
man.
an easy flight. Hey, I can see him sneaking over there. Yeah,
that's a drive. Yeah,
you ain't lying.
Yeah, I just want to say station-wide, like, if Buck ain't gonna be all in on IU, then we need to just go ahead and just name, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Babb, aka Travis Hard, as a representation of IU.
Yeah, he is.
That's just what I wanted to say.
No, he already is.
I totally agree with you.
Happy New Year, man. Appreciate you.
Good call.
Happy New Year. Hey, again, before I get off this air in 2025, catching Uber, okay? If y'all going to be doing y'all thing tonight, don't get behind that wheel, man, until you idiots out there, not me. Man, go ahead and download the app right now and stay out of people's way on them highways. And I hope all the police points are there for you, degenerates out there trying to ruin somebody 26 on January 1st, the greatest month ever. Okay, all right, peace.
No excuse.
Yeah, man, love y'all dudes, man.
Ramon Foster.
It's savage, man. You know what to do.
Arch Manning is having what so far is his career-defining game at Texas. We'll update you on his numbers and look ahead at what's next for your football weekend in the final segment of 2025 next.
Okay, holidays are over, and maybe you're looking towards next year, and I don't know, maybe you're looking towards taking care of your finances and budgeting and all of that, and maybe eventually you want to look towards retirement. Well, that's where Trajan Wealth comes in. My friends at Trajan Wealth can be your partner in your financial wealth journey. I met with them. I talked to them. It's straight talk. There's no sales pitch there, and they are fiduciaries. So their advice is built around whatever is best for you. I saw a difference when I talked to Trajan Wealth, and you will too. They can help you out. Call Trajan Wealth today to learn more. See if you have enough for retirement. That's what they're there for. You can meet them in Brentwood or Franklin. They have offices in both places, or give them a call just to schedule a phone appointment. 615-270-5000. They'll give you a complimentary consultation. TrajanWealth.com is the website if you want to learn more about them. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor, client, paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, that's where you need to go. Next new vehicle, if you're in the market, they're going to help you out. Maybe you are looking around. Certainly include Gupton in that process. Maybe you haven't started. Start there. It'll end there because they are the best. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Daniel Gupton and his crew ready to help you out. Just let them know what you're looking for, what you need. They will point you in the right direction. You go take your test drive, go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership information is there. Address, phone number, inventory, new and pre-owned, the deals they have going on right now, right there. GuptonMotors.com. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. That's Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Arch Manning, man. 41-27, Texas pulling away at this point. 2-minute timeout in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Arch, 21 of 34, 221, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries for 155 and 2 touchdowns. Just ripped off a 60-yard touchdown run to all but seal it for Texas over Michigan and get one back for the SEC.
Need one.
To Ramon's point, the hype that's going to be around Arch, if we thought it was at a certain level going into this year,
it's over.
And it wasn't linear for him, right? It was up and down early. He grew into the season, had that win over A&M.
Yep.
Somehow it's going to go to a different level with him coming back in 2026.
Yes, it is. And all you got to do is just wait till Paul Feinbaum gets in front of a microphone in the preseason. If he already was saying he's going to have a greater run than Tim Tebow was and all of that, like it's ending like this, absolutely. Absolutely. And knowing what Sark is up against, Sark got to go out and deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We've spent a lot of time today talking about the college football playoff matchups. Tonight and tomorrow, it starts with Miami, Ohio State. That's tonight, 6:30, the kickoff in less than 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We have not talked much at all about the NFL weekend.
Right.
3, essentially, winner-take-all games in the National Football League this weekend. Something that you don't often get, that many games with that caliber of stakes. Ravens Steelers for the AFC North crown. Straight up. Winner goes, hosts the playoff game, loser done.
Yep.
No DK Metcalf, no Darnell Washington for Pittsburgh. Lamar practiced today, yes, Ross?
Mm-hmm. Yes, full go.
Full go at practice. Niners Seahawks for the 1 seed in the NFC. Winner is the 1 seed and division champ. Loser hits the road in the postseason. And Panthers Bucks in the NFC South, which is not a straight up winner take all game. If Carolina wins, they're NFC South champs regardless. But because the Falcons beat the Rams on Monday Night Football, the Buccaneers could win this game over Carolina, but the Panthers could still be division champs if the Falcons beat the Saints. That would leave 3 8-9 teams at the top of the NFC South, and it would have Carolina moving on as the division champ if that's the case. Now, if the Bucs beat the Panthers, Falcons lose to Tyler Shuck and the Saints, Bucs are division champs despite their lagging back half of the year. But a lot at play here.
It is a whole lot, and I'm thinking the Falcons they're gonna roll with it being in Atlanta. If I was putting together a parlay, I would go, man. I would go with the Falcons on that one. You know what I mean? Let them.
They're hot.
Out. They're very hot.
Eliminated, but hot.
Yeah. They finding a way, dude.
Saints have been playing all right too.
They have.
I mean, but it's in Atlanta.
Both are on a win streak here.
Yeah.
Being in Atlanta though is like that gives them a little bit of an edge, probably.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
you believe
keep that.
in him, Shuck?
Do I what?
Believe in Shuck?
I don't know about the whole career, but right now, like I believe in.
I'm just saying right now.
I believe in like strongly in being in the zone and having momentum head into a game, like individually as well.
He's got a high floor, for sure. All right, let's keep that thread going on the parlay.
Mm-hmm. All right, I would go with the Falcons for sure. I'm going Steelers plus the 3.5. Matter of fact, Ross, give us some music. We can't just.
I was going to say, ain't nobody cue me up.
Yes. All right, good people. Here we go, man. This is how we're going to roll into this bad boy. Excuse me, as I pull up my app, because I'm going along with you.
This is a big one, man.
Yeah, this absolutely is. This is going to be a combined effort going into 2026. So, the Miami line has dropped back down to 7.5, too. It's holding steady at 7.5, Miami and Ohio State. Excuse me. I'm going Texas Tech plus 2.5, I think. Yeah. All right. Let me in now.
Over Oregon?
Over Oregon, Texas Tech plus 2.5. Alabama, Indiana. I'm taking Bama in the points, man, plus 7.5. I may be wrong, but this is what I'm doing. I'm going Georgia money line. Then you can get out of there, people, and you can scurry over to your NFL part of that. And I am going back, not to Cali. Where's my team? Here we go. Falcons. Going Falcons money line over the Saints. I'm going Broncos. Oh, I want to change this line. Let me see what money line will do. I ain't really know.
What is it now? Broncos minus 12.5?
820. Minus 820 money line, but it's minus 11.5.
Yeah.
I hate
no
double
Justin
digits.
Herbert for LA.
I just hate double digits. Hate double digits. Let's go by that one. Let's go down to the Bills. We'll go Bills. I don't give a damn who they sitting. Minus 360, I'm taking them. Patriots. They just got to keep rolling. Minus 650.
Against the
money
Dolphins.
line against the Dolphins. Yep. And as we scurry down to the bottom, Steelers at home. Plus 3.5. That, people, is a 7-leg parlay. That will get you a total of plus 2113. So a cool little $50. Get you $1,000 right there, people. Sure, you want to do that.
I hope everyone who says there are too many bowl games had a terrible day and a terrible end to their 2025. I hope the rest of you have an incredible start to your 2026. And Slay, I appreciate you guys having me.
Man, thanks for hanging in there with us, Ross. Thanks for filling in, holding us down, dog, for Zephyr. And for 3HL, man, for Mayor, for Babs, myself. And we appreciate you. Like Yorl already says, we don't take you guys tuning in and rocking with us for granted. We love you guys. It is the end of the new year. Thanks for rocking with us the entire year. God bless you. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you were getting a shout out to.
Unless you were getting a shout out to all of our Zone listeners, man, all of the shows that are here, and all the criminals and drunk drivers that stay inside. Let us have a day. Be blessed, y'all. I said, Happy New Year.